All right, Larry.
All right.
Okay. Cheers. Good to see you, Larry.
It's good. It's 5 p.m. on Friday.
It's 6:23.
I was a little late.
So let's just get into it because you're one of my best friends.
Yeah, we known each other a long time.
We know each other 13 years, 14 years,
yeah.
15 years.
And our families.
We know each other 15 years. Our parents have known each other our whole lives, and our grandparents have known each other probably since the 50s. Like,
Yeah.
we go back 70 years with our families.
Yeah, they went to the same church.
Wild. So
Since the 50s, probably.
yeah, since the 50s, Roberts Road. Yeah, we got stories.
We do.
Which
we didn't even
we're starting
know.
out
We
with
didn't
right
even
now.
know that our families knew each other until
No.
we started organically hanging out in high school.
And my mom was just like,
They
Larry,
put the last names together.
I know his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my uncle helped build part of your house, an addition.
Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve,
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
And you were coming up from by U of I today. So let's talk about why you were an hour and 20 late.
I think it felt like I was later because you came here so early.
I came here so early?
Yeah, what time did you get here today?
My home. For those listening, this is where I live. I woke up here in the AM.
Yeah. Well, I started on Monday,
Can you
dude.
bring this closer to you?
Can you hear me?
You can lay back still, just like literally drag it towards you. Like, yeah. And just,
It started on Monday.
wait,
That's why I was late today.
why you're late today started Monday.
Started on
All
Monday,
right, let's
dude.
talk about this.
It was all declined since Monday. All right? So my father-in-law texted me, said, Larry, when's the next time you're going up to Chicago? I said, Friday. He said, I have some car parts I want you to maybe pick up on your way back. So I'm going to go do that on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, let's meet up for lunch on Friday so I can give you the money for the car parts, right?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I can do that. So we meet up at 12. So that's 5 hours before I need to be here. I'm figuring that's a good amount of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my plan was to go have lunch with him, go work out, fill up my van, because I'm making a couple sales while I'm here. I'm selling a bike out of your garage, and I'm selling a paint.
Wait, you're selling a bike out of my garage?
Well, it's in my van, but
I'm so glad you told me while we're on air. And,
Yeah.
And I can't say no now.
and you know Reed?
Yeah.
I'm selling him a painting this weekend.
I
too.
know what painting you're selling.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we
So-
just started to drink, so
Yeah.
I'm just laughing out of my chair.
But this is part of the story, right? So this is the second time I'm going to get drunk today.
Wait, what?
This is, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, all right?
All right.
So I meet up with him on Friday,
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
at 12. And so he's a guy who drinks like dark beer, dude. Like if you're holding the glass of beer and there's like light coming through it, he's like, that's too light.
So he likes like Guinness, like stouts?
Yeah, and that's
Stouts.
like the lightest. The Guinness is like a light beer. like if you can go darker, he gets it every time we go out. So, I just drink like light beers, dude. Like the heaviest I go is like a High Life or like a Coors Banquet.
heaviest I go is a
Like, that's
Coors
heavy for me,
Banquet.
right? So, I feel obligated to get a beer when he gets a beer, like a dark beer, right?
Keep talking. I'm listening.
So he gets like this nitro, like milk stout or something, like pub beer. And so I got one too, right? And I looked at the menu after we got him, and I'm like halfway down with this thing, and it was like 8.5% alcohol.
Oh, so like double, triple that.
Yeah, so like it was equivalent probably to like 3 beers maybe, or maybe 2.
2.5 or something.
But we guzzled them down in like an hour, and he he went, and I'm like, fuck, I feel like a little drunk right now,
Yeah.
and I'm going to the gym,
Oh no.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I get to the gym, and I'm like talking to the gym owner. I'm like, yeah, man, I had a slice of pizza and a beer, and we'll see how this goes, right? So I start working out. I'm looking at these weights, and I'm like, they look heavier. I'm feeling it a little bit, and just for one beer.
Yeah.
All right, so when I get done with working out, I go to get my stuff out of my locker. I put my stuff in this locker every day, same locker number 13, dude. Put it in there. I go work out, and I come back, and I'm like, man, like, where's my stuff? Like, all the stuff. I don't use a lock, right? I don't use a lock. I just, like, trust people. There's, like, 5 people always there. Like, not even...
It's a small gym.
It's a small gym. So, dude, I couldn't find my stuff. I was like, fuck, maybe I'm a little too drunk for this shit, dude. Like, why?
You were still drunk while working out?
I was a little... Dude, I went straight from the beer to this, and I was like, just felt a little like, I don't know. It got to me. I don't think I ate enough or something.
Yeah.
So I'm telling the gym owner, I'm like, dude, I don't know where my stuff is. He's like, what are you talking about? And I'm... So I'm just going to paraphrase this. We're breaking open locks, dude. We're breaking locks open. Dude, because I'm like, I swear to God, my stuff's in here. And he's walking around
you and the gym owner are breaking open other people's locks?
All the locks,
Are you using,
dude.
like, the cutters?
The chompers, dude. We're chomping them off.
Does he know you personally or something?
Yeah, John's a good guy.
Okay.
He's a good guy. So he's like, you know what, Larry, what's your phone number? Let's just call your phone. And this is after we broke like 2 locks already. I'm like, all right. So we're like putting our ears to all the things. I'm like, dude, I think it's 13. Like, but you know when you like do something so much, you like kind of like sometimes if this locker is used, you just use the next one. So I'm like, dude, I don't know which one it is. Sure enough, it was the one I thought it was, but there was nobody's stuff in there, and the lock was on there. Somebody put a lock on my locker.
And knowing, do you think they knew stuff was in there or just did it as a joke?
I have no idea who would waste a lock.
Yeah.
For a joke. I mean, it's a pretty good joke. It's pretty fucked up, but... So that's why I was so late.
Okay.
Because I got drunk with my father-in-law, and then I went to the gym, and there was a lock on my lock that wasn't my lock.
You're breaking open other people's locks.
Yeah, dude, we were snapping
These are locks
them.
they bought. Are the people mad at you that you're just cutting open locks? Did you even say anything?
I
got out of there?
Yeah, I got out of
So
there.
you did that and just left, and all those people are dealing with... How many locks you cut?
3. The third one was a charm.
And there's only 5 people there, so you cut half of them.
But the thing is, these assholes, they go to the gym, right? And they'll leave their lock on there and go home. They don't take it home with them. So there's
Maybe you should start locking stuff when you go to the gym.
Maybe I should. Or other people will
do it for a couple dollars for like a combination lock, like a high school combination lock, you know?
Mm-hmm. I need a key, though. I learned that the hard way because I forget.
Of course, you don't know where you put your clothes.
Yeah.
So
that's why I was late. It started on Monday.
But like, there's no real late with this. It's like you and I in this place, in this house. It's Friday night. We're here hanging out. We're drinking
I feel
some
like
beer.
normally your podcast is in the morning.
It is.
It has a morning vibe to it.
It is. It's normally like 10:30 on like a Monday.
You
or
normally
a
have
Wednesday.
respectable people sitting in this seat. They're like, I think I have an opening at 10.
You're funny. You're my first my first friend, just old time friend, someone I've known a long time on here. Like Matt was my cousin, but he's my cousin. That's different.
I still have to check his out.
It was good.
I'm excited for that
It
one.
was fun.
I've only seen 2 of these.
Really?
You want to know the ones?
I can guess.
You can guess? All right.
Joe Strita.
Yes. That's the first one, right?
Brandon Weaver.
Yeah.
How did I know?
Those are my 2.
Because you know them, or
I don't. Well, the first one was because it was the first one, right?
Sure.
So I wanted to see the whole thing, and then I was flipping through. We were driving from Memphis up to Chicago or up to Champaign, and I put Brendan on. But do you think Brendan listens?
to this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know who listens to this.
Because I want to tell him sorry for something I did a long time ago.
Go ahead. If you want to, or we can
Do
do
you think he's listening?
I mean,
Brennan?
no one's listening right now. This isn't live.
Brennan?
So it's just us listening.
So do you remember the DZ comedy night thing?
Yeah.
So he was hosting it, right?
Yeah.
And we were having like an intermission, like a break, okay? And he was out smoking a cigarette.
Uh-huh.
And there was just like some friends like mulling around in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just like went up there and started like just improvising. You remember that?
I do.
And so I didn't really think anything of it because there was like time to kill.
Mm-hmm.
But then he came back in. He was like, oh, yeah, Larry, thank you. It's not like I had any jokes to say. But I think that maybe he was being serious, but I couldn't read him, right? Because I'd only met him a couple times.
He was probably just joking.
Yeah.
He was being a comedian.
I wake up thinking about this kind of shit
Dude,
in the middle of the night.
Comics are very interesting to be around because that's all they're, like, what they do is, like, they We're playing footsie. They make you laugh.
You don't have plexiglass under the table?
Our feet don't breathe, dude. They don't spit out micro droplets, our feet. Yeah, no, he probably didn't take that seriously.
So, Brennan, if you're listening, I wake up thinking about that, buddy. That shit wakes me up at night.
How's pork chop?
Pork chop's good. Pork chop is good. I mean, he just basically lays all day, dude.
Your dog.
Yeah. Half basset hound and half bulldog.
He's such an interesting looking dog.
You can't really describe him.
Can we talk about how he's secretly like a little prick?
He's bad.
He's pooped on my couch twice.
Dude, and he's
not on carpet.
He's never shat in my house
He's
ever.
Pooped on my couch twice. 2 different couches.
The brand new one too.
And the old one and the brand new one. Both
What is
times
the
we didn't see them
psychology
for
on that?
days. You were gone for days. And it's just little pieces of poop just sitting there. They weren't wet. They were just perfect. Thank God they weren't.
What's
like
the
nasty
psychology behind that, dude?
I think he's just a little confused
He's
out
not
there. He just doesn't know what's going on.
He's
and
not even allowed on the couches at our house.
That's probably why. He probably
He's
takes advantage of it.
He's never pooped in the house.
I can't explain it.
He's pooped on your couch twice. What is that, dude?
Dude,
It's weird. He's a weird ass dog.
he is. He looks like I've never seen anything that looks like him.
Every part of him looks like it's from a different part of a dog.
He looks like a Frankenstein type of dog.
They like a fifth grader like drew a dog.
Is he
Forgot.
pure half breed or is
Yeah.
it's not like
The hog farmer that I got him from was very adamant on
Hog
saying.
farm?
Yeah, I got him from a hog farmer.
like pig hog?
Yeah. Yeah,
Elaborate on this?
There was hogs everywhere, dude. They were running around, and So Pork Chop's Craigslist ad didn't have a picture. It just said 4-year-old dog, right? And then you know how Pork Chop looks. He looks crazy. So I get out of the car.
Wait. Why was there no photo to explain? You didn't question this?
I did. He said it's just to weed out the bad ones. And
Oh, people who didn't care.
I don't know what that means, though. To weed out the bad ones. Like, okay, all right. So I didn't even question it more than that. So I got out there, and then I start looking around, and I start seeing hogs, like in the distance, and then there's Pork Chop, dude. He's just running up to
running
me.
with the hogs?
And he came at me, dude, full force, just leaped on me. And he said he's never jumped on anybody before, so that's when I knew.
How do you know he wasn't saying that just to get rid of him?
Maybe, but that's the thing, dude. So it was like a year ago, like last week was his 1-year anniversary that we've had him. But last year, this time was like sleeting down sideways when I got him. It was just horrible weather. And this guy is just like prolonging this whole thing. He just keeps looking off into the distance like, yeah, I don't know if I can just give him to you for free, you know? And he's like trying to dicker with me. And I'm like, I mean, I'll give you like, I've never bought a dog like on Craigslist. So do I offer him money? I'm thinking, but
Did
he
he
kept
have
like,
it for free on Craigslist?
Yeah.
Is that free?
Because I don't think you can legally put a price on the thing. I think it has to be like adopt a dog or something, you know?
Yeah.
I think there would be like a black market.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What a fascinating dog. He's much better now, though. He's more house trained and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't run off as much.
No.
When I first met him last March, whenever I went, I don't remember the last time I went to your place.
Hoofing it, dude.
He would just book it.
And I live out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere.
So when you run away, it's not like he's running to the neighbor's yard. He's running like straight through the corn.
Now you live up. What's that been like for you, like growing up in this deep Chicago suburban city area and then just living like I love where you live. It's beautiful, but it's just out there.
Yeah.
Like out there.
I'm just out there, dude. I feel
at night,
feel disconnected.
Yeah, you're disconnected.
I don't know what to think, you know? But when I moved to Champaign, it was sort of like, first I went to ISU, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was like kind of like a first. I mean, it's still like suburban feeling in Bloomington Normal. Mm-hmm. There's shit there, but
it's a lot less than here.
Yeah, it's a lot less than here, but it was like a good segue.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Champaign, which is like a little bit bigger than normal, I think. Maybe not.
Probably.
I don't know.
Keep that closer to you, dude. Bring it closer. Don't be afraid of it.
I don't want to scream into it because I hate when I'm listening to stuff and it like sounds like the guy's screaming in your ear.
It's okay.
All right. So yeah, I moved to Champaign and it was like a little bit of a segue.
Yeah. Yeah, so
and then I get now, third segue is Tolono.
Yeah, which is way.
The next step is like the middle of nowhere in a desert. I told Brian that my dream is to get like an old refrigerator and just set it out in my yard in the desert and just shoot it with a shotgun until it disappears. Doesn't that sound great?
It sounds fun. I mean, the problem with guns is
guys like me did them. I don't have any, but I shouldn't have any.
The thing about guns, like for sport, like just shooting target practice is, it's fun. I've done that when I was a kid. My uncles had guns and stuff, and I've done that like out always in the middle of nowhere, just shooting targets. It's fun. It's the other destructive side of it that's problematic.
Yeah.
The whole like. Yeah, the killing and murdering and
crazy
destruction,
bonkers thing.
Destruction of it.
It's weird how easy it is to pull a trigger when you feel that. I've only shot a gun like one time, and it was so weird to feel how easy it was to just shoot a gun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's much louder and stronger than you.
And I think it was like a little. It was like a rifle, but it was little, like a I don't
22
know.
probably.
Yeah, that's 22. It felt like a big pellet gun.
That's usually a 22.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people start.
And it was a very bad, I won't name any names, but it was a late night. And we're in Mahomet. So that's like a fairly populated area in the Champaign area. And he's got neighbors. And I don't know what the hell this guy was thinking. He goes, Larry, you never shot a gun before? And I go, no, I never shot a gun before. He's like, all right. He goes upstairs. He's like, let's go outside. And we go on his back porch, dude, and just shooting it off.
Neighbors and stuff?
Neighbors
what
and
was
everything.
He shooting it into?
The air.
Oh, my God.
Dude. And I don't want to name any names.
Don't name any names.
But I want to throw this detail in that he's a former cop. So
oh, no.
I don't know if he felt like maybe it was like...
He could just do it?
He could, maybe. I don't know.
He just knew people. He knew he wouldn't get in trouble.
And I was too drunk to be scared.
Yeah. Or question, probably. That's usually the problem, is being intoxicated.
I'm the problem. I don't need no guns.
Larry, I got stories, right? Mm-hmm. Some of our friends got stories. But you have stories. I don't know how you do it. Do you think it's like your openness and like passive mindset that you just find yourself into the craziest predicaments I've ever heard?
Maybe that's what it is.
You don't seek it, right?
I feel like normal people just wake up, they go to work, they like come home, cook dinner, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like that shit never happens with me.
It doesn't happen to me either. But
there's 100 things going on.
Me. Like I got stories, right?
Yeah.
Every time I think I got a story, you just hear like, man. Some of my favorite stories have been hearing, just being around you when I'm on like mushrooms.
Do you remember the last time you did mushrooms at my
house? Are you okay
house?
with talking about that? Cause
yeah, I'm cool with it, right? Because like I don't think anybody's gonna hear it that would.
Listen, it doesn't. We were adults. We're here.
We're here.
Yeah, we lived.
So all right, so we were supposed to have a boys' weekend, right? We were supposed to go down to Tennessee to a cabin, and the cabin got closed, and we got our money back, or I don't know if we ever made it that far. It just closed.
Yeah.
And then, so we just decided to have that 3-day boys weekend at my house.
Friday night to Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead. Or just like still have a boys'
weekend. You live
weekend.
out in the middle of nowhere.
It's all the same. And we're all just going to do some mushrooms, right? And, I mean, we start tripping, and I did a little less than you guys, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to do it. I got some, like, trails, like whatever you guys were willing to, like...
Leftovers and stuff, yeah.
So I was still, like, I had some bearings.
You weren't fully detached.
Yeah. like a couple...
Zach and I?
Yeah. And even Trevor.
And Trevor, we were all quite detached, which was fine.
I think it's funny because when you do that kind of thing, your like inner being comes like, sort of to the surface.
Well, can I preface that like
you were just laughing hysterically. Trevor's just like looking in the corner, like just he was wearing all black hoodie, black hat, black everything, just sitting in the dark corner. I'm like, God, like, I'm on a little bit of mushrooms. I'm like, I don't like that at all, dude. And then Zach's just going crazy bonkers because that's just who he is.
And everyone else, hold on, let me preface this. We tried so hard to be like adults about it.
Yeah.
Like we planned it out.
Yeah.
We're like, we're going to take them at like 2. I had my scale to make sure we're all good. Everyone, we're not going anywhere. No one's driving anywhere. We're staying there all night. You know, we're all safe. Your wife is great, and she goes to your parents or her parents' house for the weekend. She leaves us, so it's just us, and we're all hanging out. And we are mature about it. We're safe about it. We got our snacks, our foods. We're stocked.
2 hours away from all family.
We were away from everything.
Family and friends and everything.
145 miles from all family, right? Yeah. We're just there. And we all take them. Everyone that's involved. We don't have to say everyone's name, but the people that were there, we all take them.
And so my leg feels like it's like vibrating off of my body, right? And I'm like, Benji, why is this happening? He's like, just ignore it. It's fine. You don't need to do this. I look down and it's like 2 missed calls from my dad, 2 missed calls from my mom. I'm like, God, I don't know. Like, why would they just call me like this? This is weird. I haven't talked to either one of them in like a week. And so then Julia's calling me. And I'm like, God, Ben,
your wife.
My wife, yeah. And I'm like, what the heck, dude? And so luckily she mass texted everybody who was at the house. And dude, they were like in Champaign wanting to hang out with us or me. And lo and behold, I have like 10 guys tripping out on mushrooms, dude. And everybody thinks it's hilarious except for me because I'm freaking out.
I couldn't even fathom it.
Yeah.
I was literally rolling on the ground laughing.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, I turned like probably stark white. I'm like, holy shit, boys, how am I going to... If they pull up at any point, because, like, why wouldn't they? Yeah. If they're in town, why wouldn't they just show up at my house?
Yeah.
On a normal Saturday.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
Which they've done.
Yeah.
2 times I've been to your house.
I think they have a tracker on you guys.
They've just shown up. But that's your style, though.
Yeah.
That's, like, normal behavior for you and your family.
Yeah, I just show up on things, too.
You've showed up here countless times. I didn't know you were coming.
Yeah.
And your parents do. But it just so happens... Dude. We try so hard to make sure we're mature about it. We take these things, we're having a good time, and they just text you, what, an hour into it? Yeah. Like, it just happened. And they're like...
Yeah, it was just kicking in, really.
Just kicking in. And they're like, okay, we're going to show up. Dude. And your wife's like, they're showing up. And they're like, oh, no.
Yeah. I'm freaking out. Nobody else is. And so I go to the bathroom, right? And I was like... overthinking it probably. I'm like, what am I going to text my mom to say, like, you can't come over? Because I've never been like, yeah, Mom and Dad, no, you're like, already drove 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Can't come over.
Yeah.
For no reason, you know? So then I think we had Dylan send the text.
So what you did
because he was the only one that was like...
I do remember this, because this was hilarious. You came out and you're like, guys, should I send this?
Yeah.
And you show it to us and it just says... Not a good time. I'm paraphrasing. Not a good time to show up.
Yeah.
Like, don't come over. Just something
I said
stupid.
Something like Boys Weekend or something.
Just something not what you would say to your parents normally. Yeah. And it was so obvious. And Dylan was the only one who didn't take mushrooms. And he was like, no.
He gave him like a super professional text. He's like, Mom and Dad.
Just also not like how you would speak.
I do not think it would be proper if you came over.
No contractions. Like, no apostrophes. Just like well written.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're like, Larry's up to something.
And they never showed up.
And they never responded.
No one
responded. So we're all sitting there on mushrooms, like freaking out. Like, are they gonna just show up?
So like for like 4 hours, I'm like, dude, all they need to send is like just okay. Like that's it. That's all I needed, and I'll feel like I can like relax.
Yeah.
And that ruined my whole entire trip. By the time they texted me back, oh, we're home. We're da-da-da.
Yeah.
6 hours later, I was already like off, you know, whatever.
Oh my God, that was so funny. We were dying when that happened.
Because like most of us were pretty level-headed. Mm-hmm. But there was the few that we would not have people who would not have been able to pass it.
Yeah.
It would have been bad, but
that was funny.
Yeah.
So these are the stories that happened in your life.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because you like naturally just are in the moment and not like
overplanned?
Yeah, you just live in the moment. You're a very in the moment person.
Yeah.
Right?
So probably that's why a lot of these hiccups come up.
Oh, it's always a hiccup.
Always a hiccup. Every day. Tomorrow, if you call me on the phone, I'll tell you a hiccup that happened to me tomorrow.
The first time I did mushrooms,
mm-hmm.
you show up at my house
at
like 11 a.m., right?
Yeah.
right? And you're like, you want to hang out? Let's go to Allenlark. I was like, sure. It's a coffee shop.
Yeah.
So, but you have luggage in your front seat.
Was I there?
Do you remember this?
I don't remember
You
this.
have luggage in your front seat in your pickup truck, your red pickup truck, and you put it in the bed.
I do remember.
You put it in the bed of the pickup truck.
Yeah.
So I can sit shotgun, right?
Yeah.
It's only a 3-seater. We drive to get coffee. We're hanging out. We come back. You drop me off. You're like, I'll be back later. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. I think I'll be doing mushrooms later. I've never done them yet. This was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You come back later. We're all, having a good time. We're all in the middle of that experience. And you tell the story, the car wash.
Yeah.
Please tell. And I think there was something afterwards with your yard and like a septic tank or something.
Oh, yeah, dude. That was a bad day.
Exactly. And
I forgot all about that.
I cried because you made me laugh so hard because of this.
So I dropped you off.
Dropped me off.
Apparently. I don't even know what Allenlark is.
It's a coffee shop we went to in downtown LaGrange.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. It's coming back. I think Steven was there and a few other guys. Yeah. So I dropped you off, and then, I went to go get a car wash because it was like super salty or something. I don't know. It was just
January.
It was just dirty. Yeah. Okay. All right. It was just, So I just went in for a quick car wash because they do those things where like if you get the car wash, you get like 10 cents off of your gallon or whatever.
The gas.
Yeah. So I did that, and I'm going through the car wash, dude, and I'm like, I'm feeling good, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And the fucking straps on my luggage are just flying in the back, dude, from all the fucking wind and the soap and everything. It's flying in the air, and all of my clothes got soaking wet for the whole entire weekend.
Did you do wax too?
Oh, I got the works,
your clothes
dude.
got waxed.
They got waxed.
Your luggage got waxed. Mm-hmm. And you're sitting. You can't do anything. You're stuck in there. It's an automatic.
I'm just stuck in there. What am I gonna do? Open the door and get sprayed
myself? Is it the kind you get pulled through?
You pull through.
So you're sitting there just.
I'm just fucking, lurking away, looking at my luggage and my shoes and everything, all this shit, just getting soaked, dude. And there was nothing I can do. It was like looking at it, and I was like, "There's nothing I can do to save that." So I think we ended up just like throwing it in the dryer here, but
no, you run home. And there's something going on in your yard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah? Oh, yeah. Yep. I got home that day, and, my dad's, he's 60 now. He's probably like 57 then.
Yeah.
And, I see him out there. He's struggling, and he's rotting out the plumbing in the backyard. And I'm like, fuck, I got to help him. I'm kind of hungover from us hanging out the night before.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. My clothes are wet. They got to dry anyways. I might as well just start plumbing because why not, right? So I go out there, and we're starting to rot out the sewer, that goes to the toilet. And lo and behold, dude, we start pulling the shit out, and it's all my little sister's fucking tampons all over on the fucking thing. And my dad looking at it is like, yeah, and he gives me like a razor blade. He's like, start cutting it off, man. Start cutting it off. And, dude, they were all, like, swollen, and there was shit all over them, and blood, and it's my sister. There's everything, right? And I'm hungover, and I'm out there slicing it, dude, and it was strong. This shit is strong when it gets on there, and it's soaking for months and building on itself. So I'm out there fucking slicing it, dude. I forgot about this story until I buried this deep down and out of my life. And so I start like gagging, right?
Yeah, as you should be.
Yeah. Because, I was just not feeling well when I drove up to the place. And then, the smell and, dude, it was the worst thing I've ever experienced. And I said, Kim, if you ever do a tampon down the sink or whatever, wherever you put it.
A tampon
wherever you put those things. You're going out there and rotting that shit. Because I swear to God, I threw up in front of Dad and his 75-year-old friends staring at me. Dude, that was rough. That was rough.
You told me that story. I'm on mushrooms for the first time.
Yeah, that was one day.
Yeah, it was one day between the car wash.
It was I was gone for like 4 hours.
Dude, you came back with these stories out of nowhere. I was dying. It was so funny. Man.
Forgot about that.
Larry, you got...
I'm glad you have a better memory than me. I should start jotting some shit down.
I feel like I remember the stories we've had or the ones you've shared with me more than you do.
I think so.
I mean...
Because it's just another day for me.
Because you always have something.
You day.
Got, like,
it's bad.
Like,
I think I would say Jake. Shit happens to Jake all the time.
Jake's got, because you guys are very similar.
I lived with him. I see him forget his wallet.
It's your guys' mindsets. That's why.
Yeah.
You guys are very in the moment.
Yeah.
Very present. This is a good thing.
I think it is a good thing.
It's a good thing,
because
but
I've experienced a lot of cool shit because I was open-minded. You know.
I'm open-minded too.
Yeah. There's a balance though.
But I pay attention to
the
things coming in, and you're just you and someone like Jake are just you're present. And you say yes to like everything, and I say yes to everything, but you guys kind of go in blindfolded. At least leave one eye open, you know.
Yeah.
And just the funniest things, like the main thing that you and your dad and the things you've always been really good at, privy with, know about, and kind of a passion has been cars, and more specifically vans, hot rodding. Ooh. Hot rodding, it would just spill and start sleeping on my side. Vans, hot rods. Like your dad is one of the biggest car guys I've ever met.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he built a 57 Chevy from scratch, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been working on that thing for?
My dad?
Yeah.
I think he bought it in like 98.
The frame or?
He was like a body and a frame and no front end was on it or anything. Mm-hmm. I think the floors were like a little shot on it. There was nothing. It was just a shell. So
that shell is from 57?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he found some fenders from 57, and he redid...
What did the paint?
His buddy did. Good friend. Painted it. So
cars has just been in your life forever.
Yeah, and he'd been working on that. I think he finished it in like 2014 or something.
I remember that, because we went to your house.
Almost like 20 years, yeah.
We went to your house, and I remember like... the hood was open. He had to like manually do something with...
I think he was like just hitting the throttle. Yeah. On the carburetor.
So loud.
And there was shit falling off the walls.
There was like, you had a bunch of cars. Like Hot Wheels.
And everything was falling.
Vibrating off the wall. Everything was loud. What is it? What size engine? A 3?
It's just a 350, yeah. But he got this motor off of a guy who... He passed away and his son was selling it. And this guy used to like race cars, and so this 350 was like a super high compression motor, and was like more than my dad wanted for his car. And so he tried to detune it and like do all this stuff to make it like regular, and then he just made it more
aggressive.
Yeah, on an accident because he was like bumping up the compression, and so it was like super high. And
is it still that loud? Did he change it or?
So that was like because there was no exhaust on it. So once he put the exhaust and everything on it, it sounds like how it does now.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
He takes it to car shows and stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's won an award at every car show he's been to.
Really?
First place, dude.
Really?
Yeah, like 4 or 5, the ones that he's gone to.
Why have you never told me this? I didn't know that.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
I'll have to show you.
No, so you're... Like, I remember I went to your house a lot. We hung out at your house a lot in high school and college.
Yeah.
And your driveway was just 6, 7, 8 cars.
Yeah.
A van, your first van.
And then all my dad's friends stopping over.
Yeah. Oh, my God. All the time.
It's like a car show.
The Nova, the Chevy, the 66 Dodge van, a Camaro, a pickup truck, a wagon. Like
all kinds of shit.
Vans.
Yeah.
Your dad's truck, like Nick's car, like a lot of cars. And you have clearly...
Yeah.
Learn from that.
I've got problems now.
Because how many cars do you have on your property?
On my property right now? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like 6 or 7.
And it's just you and your wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
What cars? Do you want to say the years? And
I've got 2 1961 Impalas out there now since you've been there.
Yeah.
I had to dig those out of the grave, dude. I wasn't even looking for those either. Like I didn't even want them. I mean, this shit follows me, man. So my buddy calls me up, and he said, "Larry, my mom is selling her property, and if we don't get these cars out, the next guy's just gonna throw them into the junkyard. And if they're gonna go there, if you want to buy them, you can, or if they're junk, you can just leave them. It doesn't matter." So I went out there and they were pretty shitty. Like there was like rust, but it was like savable, right? But also it's a 2-door and it's a bubble top and it's a big block Chevy car. So that's like, those 3 things together are like savable. Another one was a 4-door And that's basically like a parts car. So I gave the guy some money, not much. I got him home, and I sold him, but I didn't even put him up for sale. My buddy Jeff was mulling around in a junkyard, and he saw these two little cholo guys, he said. And they were like mulling around in the junkyard too, and they're like, "Hey, do you know anybody who has a 58 to 64 Impala?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know. My buddy Larry just got two," and then they just called me the next day.
Of course.
They were sold. And they're from California.
That's a product of saying yes to everything.
I guess
which
so.
I'm a big fan of, because I do that as well. And doors open, and they close and they open like you've never believed if you just are a yes person.
Yeah.
And you are.
So I bought these two things for $750. These two cars. And then the guy, I just threw out a number out there because he called me. And I was like, give me $2,200. And so just like that, in like a couple of days.
Who needs a job?
Yeah.
You should just be a car flipper.
Maybe.
Of just used stuff.
I've never stopped, you know.
How many cars have you owned in your life?
Oh, man. I've never thought of it.
At least, 12?
Probably. I've had the
More?
66 Dodge van. It's my first one.
We're going to get to that. We're getting to that one. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think so. And then I had like a 97 Ford Ranger in high school, that red one. I think it was red. And then I got, I can't remember.
The other vans, you've had like 3 or 4 other vans.
I've had an 89 Chevy. I had an 81 Honda.
Ronda
the Honda.
Yeah.
I had a 69 Ford van. I had a weird like white car. I don't even remember what it was. I just needed a car.
It was quick. Just in and out. Yeah.
Something was broken down, and I bought it for like $500 from my neighbor. I forget what it was. It was like an Oldsmobile, some shit.
Yeah.
I only had it for like a month. Well, I don't even remember what I said.
Haven't you had another van? A 70?
I had the 69. No.
Or was that
Oh, yeah,
69?
I did own the 70 Ford van.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
I
that.
remember that one. What was the last one? The one that was like really cool with the fuzzy walls and the fur?
The 69 Econo.
That was the
Did I say that one though, right?
Maybe.
I feel like I said that one
I
already.
should be counting for you.
Yeah. Then let's get more recent. I had 2 more Ford Rangers. 3 more Ford Rangers. Dude, I had some bad luck with those last 3.
Yeah, you did.
The 261 Impalas. The 27 Model T.
Wait. Let's stop for a second. 1927 Model T
1927.
is in your garage right
Yeah.
now.
It's going to be 100, dude. That'd be cool to celebrate its 100th birthday.
Yeah.
6 more years.
Yeah, you had to hold on to it.
Yeah. The 65 El Camino.
Yeah, that's in your driveway just
Rotten.
riding.
But I'm going to put the motor in on Tuesday.
Cool.
So that's going to be good. It's going to be 65 and sunny. 68 and sunny.
What year is the car?
65.
So hopefully it's 65 degrees out.
Hopefully. Everything will line up.
Yeah.
And then the dad wagon.
15?
So I'm at 15.
15 cars and you're 28?
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's a lot.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. And your wife has 2.
She has 2. She has the 71 Beetle.
Which is beautiful, by the way.
Beautiful, yeah.
Awesome.
Her and her dad redid that when she was a teenager. Mm-hmm. And that came out nice.
And then the Honda.
And then the Honda.
So you have 15, but now you have like, 6 at your house? Are those counting? The Beetle and the Honda?
I think so, yeah.
You have a lot.
Yeah.
You're a car person.
2, 4, 6, 7. 6 or 7.
What's your preference with cars? Like, if you had to pick, not if you had expendable money, but if you had the money to have like a car and that's your thing, what would it be? Would it be a van? Wait, did you count your van you have now? Did you count the van?
Yeah, I counted the dad wagon.
Okay.
It's a 2000 Astro van. So
Which,
instead
a
of
TV
soccer
with the
mom,
VH player, right?
yeah,
VHS player, which
Yeah.
I still got to give you some VHSs.
That'd be fun. I think it's gonna come back. It's gonna be like the next final record.
It can come back like cassettes. It'd be the
so?
video version of cassettes. Because
Yeah.
cassettes have had to come back in the last decade for like a nostalgic, more simplistic way.
And like
of doing things.
hardcore like music guys want those cassettes.
I have a ton of cassettes from bands. Like,
Yeah.
it's a thing people do,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
But,
vinyl's
like-
too much money compared to a cassette.
Yeah.
You know?
But also, like, if you think of bands that came out when cassettes were, like, hot, then people are into that band. They want the cassette,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like that. Not necessarily. They might not even have had vinyl, like for those bands at those times. So.
Well, the thing is, like, vinyl went out into cassette and then into CD.
Yeah.
Or 8-track cassette CD.
Yeah.
And then, vinyl came back, but cassette came back like on the lower echelon of like indie rock bands,
The more like, yeah.
Like it's been more cassette because it's just cheap to make them.
It seems like more of the music purists are into it instead of the main crowd. Like vinyl's like a main crowd thing. Like even like people who are not really musicians they like records.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the cassettes
vinyls come back hardcore.
Oh yeah.
Because I think it's because of the digital age.
For a long time, yeah.
Well, CDs are out completely.
They might come back too. We should save them.
They're not going to come back.
Save them.
They're not going to come back because they're a digital format that is of lesser quality than downloading stuff. And if you're going to have a tangible object, you might as well have the vinyl.
But listen, what
and
if
the digital format?
So like, what if something comes back like I don't fucking know, like breakdancing, right? And you need to have the CD in the fucking player, right, on the street, and that's the cool thing. So if everyone's looking for CDs, dude, you got to keep shit.
I think it's vinyl and digital download, streaming, or downloading physically. I think that's where it's all come to, because you get two birds, one stone. You get I could listen to my phone with my friends on my Bluetooth anywhere I go,
get two
or I
birds
could sit at home. I could be at home with my friends and listen to the vinyl.
Yeah.
And the CD and cassette barely have a place in the middle. CD definitely doesn't. Cassette a little bit more because it's analog.
You heard it here first. It's gonna come back.
You're just stuck in 2000 with your Astro van, and you're stuck in 1960s with your vans. Speaking of which, how many times have you been to Van Fest?
Oh, so that's the Van Nationals.
Van Nationals.
Van Nationals. I've gone to 3.
3?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Van Fest? That's what you used to call it?
Yeah.
Synonymous names?
I think Charlie started that.
Van Fest?
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, there's like 1,000 vans.
And you've...
Primarily from the 60s and 70s. It? Yeah. You can only get in if you have a van.
And you've done it.
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah. And the last time was in Charlie's van.
Big butter.
Big butter.
Right.
Yeah.
And some crazy things happen.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the Van Nationals, it takes place in a different state each year, so that people with vans that are older can make it every so often. Someone from Florida might not make it up to Wisconsin, but last year they had it in Florida, so they kind of move it around for people.
Sure.
And it keeps it interesting, it keeps it fun, road trip and stuff. But I think the one that you're talking about, we took my 69 Econoline, me, Charlie, Ella, to, I think it was in Illinois.
Yeah,
I think it was in Southern Illinois. So we drove down to Southern Illinois, and there was, I think that one had like 800 vans. And so this thing is just like a giant block party, right? It's just...
That's a lot of vans.
Yeah, I mean, and they're all like pimped out. They're like not.
They're nice.
They're not the Astro van.
They're nice.
You get a few of those, but they're nice. They're cool. They're old, and so it's just a big it feels like just a big neighborhood party kind of. There's golf carts and things.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that.
Tailgating.
So right? I'm there with Charlie and Ella, right? And for some reason they were like not partying as hard as I was. They were like
who would have thought?
Doing their own thing. So we brought a 24 rack. And we were only there for one day. And so apparently, this is what they say. Okay. Ella had 1 beer, Charlie had 2. I just farted.
I didn't even notice that.
It might get caught. So I gotta just say it. So they just had like 3 beers between them, and we woke up to an empty case. So I either got into 21 beers or like something happened. But I didn't believe them. But they were like, yeah, Larry, you got a little crazy on us. You got dropped off last night on the naked golf cart. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you and like 4 middle-aged women and like this guy were all just naked on this golf cart. And you guys were like trying to get us to get on there with you. And eventually they just like left you here. And I didn't believe him. I thought he was just joking because like, I don't know. Sometimes Charlie says shit like that.
Sure.
You know Charlie.
Sure.
He just says stuff like that. So then we're like in the common areas in the morning getting breakfast. And this guy is like big, burly, hairy, bald on top guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, Larry. I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? I'm like, trying to remember when did I talk to this guy? And he's like, yeah, Larry, me, you, my wife, our friends, we're all just driving around naked on a golf cart. And I had zero recollection, dude. And that was probably one of the only times that I've ever not remembered something like that. You know?
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy bonkers. The Van Nationals is fun. It is fun. You have to. That was my first one, and I learned how to pace myself after that.
And you found yourself initiated into a van
club,
club.
Yeah, a club of some sort.
A club of some sort.
Yeah, that was actually at the drag strip. We were watching the races, and so they have like a little campground next to the drag strip, and so me and Julia were gonna camp out there, and I had met these guys at a car show, and they had vans, and I had a van, so we were just like,
yeah,
I guess we're just best friends now. And I hadn't really known them. I didn't know them at all. So I'm driving by. I keep having itches I can't get. So I'm driving by, and this guy's like, hey, Larry, where are you parking that thing? And I looked over, and it was this guy that I saw recently, and in the van, and he goes, you ain't parking there. I said, okay. And he's like, there's a van camp down there, and there's 7 vans down there. And he's like, go close off that octagon. I said, okay. And I don't know any of these guys at the time. So I drive down there, and I close off the van camp, and only that one guy remembered me. The other guys didn't. They're like, who the hell is this guy? What the fuck? So I was like, oh, this guy told me to come down here. Like, oh, cool, yeah. This one guy's like, ain't nobody coming in this octagon without a fucking van. I'm like, oh, shit. All right. So there's a bonfire in the middle of all the vans. And, like, the way the old vans are is, like, there's only doors on the
passenger side.
So all the doors are open toward the inside, and the outside is just, like, closed off, dude. So we're just, like, stuck in there. I mean, we could probably, like, maneuver out if we wanted to, but we were just going with it, right? The yes man. Going back to your thing, right?
Yeah.
So I just went along with it, and then I'm partying with these guys, and, like, there was this little guy, right? He's, like, this big. He's like 4'9", dude, right? And he's got a beard, like, down to his waist. He looks like a fucking 7 dwarf, and I don't know if he's going to hear this, because they hear everything, okay? The greasy sharks hear everything, okay? So he's been walking around, he's mulling around, he's been giving me dirty looks, and then there's this guy, Johnny Trash, who I became good friends with after this story. He's a very nice guy. But at the time, he didn't know me, and he just looks at me. He's like, I'm going to fucking eat you. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And so he's got these overalls, and by the end of the night, he's cutting them, like, shorter and shorter with, like, a pocket knife, dude, just cutting them. And eventually, dude, he just had, like, a jean skirt with his balls hanging out, dude. And that's all he was wearing in overalls. So this whole time, he's like, you guys like this guy? And I'm like, yeah, he's all right. That's nice. And they're passing around, like, Malort. And it was the first time I ever had Malort. And I think that was, like, they're like, is this guy cool or not? Can he drink the Malort and not, like, throw up? So I drink the Malort and stuff, and then I'm hanging out, and they're like, well, what do you think? Should we make him a greasy shark? And I'm looking around like, shit. And Julia's kind of nervous this whole time, because there's just, like, there's like 10 guys. Balls are hanging out, all kinds of crazy shit. There's little kids, like, sleeping in the vans in hammocks. They set up hammocks.
Lost Boys? What's going on?
Dude, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm just, like, looking around like, what is okay?
Where's this located?
This is in Byron, Illinois.
Okay, never heard of it.
But these guys live down in Decatur.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, they were doing the same thing I was.
Okay.
Just traveling to watch some races. So these guys are like, well, you like this guy? And they're like, yeah. And so Johnny Trash comes out and he goes, take his fucking shirt off. And he kind of has his lip always just fucking sticking out. And so these guys just fucking rip my shirt off, dude. I'm like, oh, shit. And so these big-ass dudes, right? This one guy has, like, tattoos from his head to his toe. He showed me a tattoo on his dick of a guy mowing some grass, dude. I swear to God, dude. And I'm like, holy shit. And he's like, yeah, you saying that because it's big? I'm like, no, dude, because it's fucking crazy, right? And so then there's this other big guy who's got, like, tattoos instead of hair.
Yeah.
It's like on his hairline, like fucking tattoos on his head. And so they both grab me, right? And they pin me up against my van. And that little fucking 4'9" guy with the fucking beard comes out and he fucking trolls up, dude, and he fucking burns my armpit hair, dude. Both arms, dude. I go, They're fucking burning my armpit hairs. And then I look at them and they all got these fucking sharks tattooed on their armpits and they go, you're a greasy shark now.
So it's like a gang.
It's like, I don't know what the hell it is.
Van gang.
I don't know. I guess, dude, I guess it has to be, right? And I'm fucking in it.
So now you're in it.
And I'm in it. And
Are
I
you
didn't
still
even
in it?
ask. I guess the only way out is in a box.
But there was something that happened.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
they-
I
So let's
forget.
and that happened in my patio.
my memory on a lot of things.
I got you. I'm gonna keep doing
Yeah.
this all night.
Because then they go, well, you don't ever make a greasy shark unless,
They make it.
yeah. It has to be a group thing.
Right.
You can't just go out there and just
You can't just be
burning
making
armpit hairs.
greasy sharks left and right all willy nilly.
Yeah. You gotta either have like a cool van or like something. You can't,
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm telling this story to you guys when I'm hammered, and was it Josh Mitchell? It was over here?
Yeah, probably. You're on the patio.
We're on the
This
patio.
is probably 5 years ago.
And Josh is like, I want to be a greasy shark. And so I'm like, all right, let's do this. And then my drunk mind was like, you know what? Let's film this and put this on their Facebook page and say, fuck you. Man, I should never have done
I
that.
should not have done that.
No, these guys are fucking way bigger than me.
They have tattoos on their junk, you know?
Yeah.
You got to be wary of that.
Yep. So we burn his armpit hairs and we upload it to Facebook, to these guys' Facebook page. And
That's the stairs. It's probably a bunch of people. It's good. Bo.
oh my God, that's freaked me out.
Yeah.
So we uploaded it, and then I wake up the next morning with like a giant hangover,
Yeah.
and I forget. You wake up and it's just another day, and I'm like, fuck. I checked my Facebook, and dude, they got my number off of Facebook. They're texting me like, who the fuck is this in the Greasy Sharks? You don't ever do this shit. I said, no.
I said no.
No. I Googled like cool van. I like screenshotted it. I'm like, no, it's cool, man. Look at his van. It's cool, right? I'm like, all right, but don't ever do that shit again. Dude, dodged a bullet.
Larry.
Both my armpit hairs. What do you think Julia was thinking?
She was like, "What? Should I marry this guy?"
Yeah.
She married you a
Yeah,
couple
she
years
did.
later.
Yeah.
She probably questioned it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I got you another one, Larry. Oh, God dang it.
Dude, wild.
Every time I see you, because you've lived away for about, 5, 6 years now? 7 years? 8 years?
I guess I went away to college. I moved back for like 8 months.
2013 you've been gone, right?
12?
12. So about 8, 9 years you've been back and forth, but far away. And every time, I mean, I see you enough, but
Yeah.
every time I see you, there's a story.
Well,
and it's always
we're always
slightly
having to-
ridiculous or very. Like there's no yeah, I went to the store,
No.
bought some
No.
chips, and
That
that's
don't
it.
happen
No,
to me,
it does not happen.
I'm convinced like maybe God is just like, he's got a good sense of humor. Let's just fuck with him a little bit today. The other guy can't handle it.
I think it's your mentality.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because you're stuck in your ways, and you just keep going.
Oh, I kind of like this.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah?
It looks goofy on video.
That's all right.
Do it. Whatever you want.
I'll let my ear breathe a little bit.
You don't like it? You don't like being locked in?
I feel like I can't gauge how loud I'm actually talking. So when the
you're
video
literally fine.
comes out, I'm going to be like,
No,
like
you're better.
weird, like in my own head.
Excuse me. You're fine.
But yeah.
You're not too loud at all. I got this.
I think I'm too quiet though.
You're not too quiet either. You're good.
Because normally I'm not like a quiet talker. But if I'm in my own ear, dude, you know how that is.
It's a good thing. It normalizes your voice. It keeps you from
Yeah.
getting too loud and quiet. It keeps you like in a
Is
nice
that a good
balance.
thing?
It is for talking.
Yeah.
You want to be in like that medium, that balance.
Yeah.
So back to
So-
Vans.
But Benji, I have one quick question.
Sure.
How many people listen to this that don't know me? Realistically.
That don't know you?
That don't know me.
I have no idea. A lot? I don't.
Yeah?
I don't have a number for you.
Like a million? No.
a couple billion,
Yeah.
2-3 billion.
Yeah, no big deal.
So you've been a car person.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say van or car or truck? Because you've had all of them and a lot of them. What's your thing?
I started out in vans because they were cheap. They used to be. Like you could pick up like a really nice 60s or 70s van running and driving for like $1,500
in like 2008, 9.
Yeah. And that, I mean, you could even buy like, that's how much a Honda Civic was, $1,500 back then or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's how I got into classic cars. Was the van was like something a 15-year-old could afford.
And you got that for your 16th birthday, the 66 Dodge?
I bought it with like money that I used from cutting grass.
Right.
$500 I paid
$500.
for it. Yeah.
It's 1966 Dodge.
Yeah.
You got it in what, 2008? 7?
So if I was born in 92 and I was gonna be 16, it would probably be like what?
2008, 2007. Because I remember when you first got it, and it took you like a year or two to get it going.
Yeah.
I think it took you 2 years to get it going, because that's when you picked me up.
Yeah.
Dill.
Yeah.
Brendan.
Yeah.
Chris and I. You picked us up. It was spring 2010, right? April 2010?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, because I was dating. No, this might have been 2009. Maybe not. You're better.
We weren't hanging out with Brendan then, so no, it had to have been 2010.
Okay.
It might have been April, before you were a senior in high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes
Because I
sense,
know
right?
I wasn't dating
You weren't
Audrey
dating
yet.
anybody, because you were it's April 2008. You were single still, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or 2010. Sorry, this is 11 years ago. It's kind of hard to.
Yeah.
But that sounds about right. And
Yeah.
you show up to my house.
Mm-hmm.
We're all hanging out like
Honk,
we
honk.
would. You honk honk. We're in the garage. Mm-hmm. So the four of us go in
And
your
this
car.
thing has been like amongst our friends. It becomes like a thing. When you get in the van, going, "Where's the van? Where's the van?
It was
Where's the van? Where's the van?"
because it was.
Yeah.
It
And
had
so when I
it was a
showed
special
up-
van. You had a camper on top.
Yeah.
You show up. I helped you put the speakers in. Those Yamaha speakers.
Yeah, we made like a little like stand for them. Yeah.
And they're kind of maneuvered and sitting next to a battery. Nothing's really strapped in.
Yeah.
Your seats are not bolted into the ground. There's no seatbelts.
No.
Sharp, jagged rust metal everywhere.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
A shit box.
Very, very. Why did your dad even let you take it out? Pretty dangerous.
I don't know, man.
Like, that was a really dangerous thing to be driving around.
It was just so rusty. It was just so
But even,
rusty.
forget the rust, the inside, you crash at 10 miles an hour, everything in there moves.
Yeah.
The seats are not bolted.
Yeah, but
there's nothing.
do you remember how cool those fucking seats were?
Everything was cool.
Like the whole thing.
They
All right, let me
flipped,
just
right?
like paint a picture, right?
Yeah, paint a picture.
So this van, if you're into vans, you want to find the shorty vans. The short ones are the ones that are like sought after. Because there's a bunch of big ones. Because people use them for, work related things and they wanted the big vans. So the more rare ones are short vans. And so I had a shorty, and they didn't make very many with the camper pop top. They made some with like that would just stay up all the time, and I
Yeah.
don't like those. But this one collapsed down and looked like a regular van. So when you park to a campsite, you could pop it up and take it back down, whatever. And then inside, it had 2 benches in the back, and they would either face forward, or you could take that front one and flip it to like face each other.
Yeah.
And then a table popped out.
Yeah.
And you could just chill there.
Yeah.
That was fucking cool.
It
When
was
you're
really
15,
cool.
16, I was
Yeah.
like, this is cool. And then right behind the driver and passenger seat, you probably saw this because you helped me clean it once.
Mm-hmm.
It had like a sink and a propane like grill in the middle, and then a ice box on the right.
Yeah.
I ended up taking all that stuff out to put speakers and stuff in, which I shouldn't have because that stuff goes for a lot of money now, Ben. You live and
Really?
you learn. Yeah, you live and you fucking learn.
Gee, calm down. How much does it go for?
Dude, it would go for probably like anything from like probably like $800
Oh,
for the
really?
unit. And not crazy amount of money, but not money
What'd
that
you
I
do
should
with that? Just throw it out?
I just threw it out in the fucking trash, dude. And all the grill and everything said Dodge on it, and everything was like from the dealership. So
Yeah.
like people pay more money for that kind of stuff with the name of the car, and it came with from
Yeah.
the factory with that. So I threw all that stuff away, and then like the front seats were just regular seats, but that was the interior of that van. But we were driving around, right?
So you pick us up. So the 4 of us get in.
Yeah.
We're super happy because this is the first time we visually see this thing going.
Yeah.
And it sounds good. It's looking
Everyone's
good.
roaring. Everyone's
so happy. We're
roaring.
so
dude.
happy.
I pulled up in that bitch because
Yeah.
I mean it'd been a couple years.
You surprised us. We didn't even know.
No,
You just
I
showed
popped up, dude.
Yeah.
So we're driving around. I think we went to the mall to drop something off to someone. And then we were coming back, dude, and we're doing like 35 on Roberts Road.
We're going the speed limit on Roberts Road.
Doing the speed limit on Roberts Road. And there's like, we're coming up to a red light, and there was like 2 cars already stopped. And so I start hitting my brakes, and nothing's happening, dude. That's a scary feeling.
Before this, what's blasting on the radio?
The Beach Boys.
On these big speakers.
Good Vibrations.
Good Vibrations. You're one of your favorite bands.
Good Vibrations. Yeah. And so I'm slamming on the brakes, and nothing's happening. On the speakers that we installed, they were fucking blasting.
Yeah.
And, dude, at 35, we're going in. It doesn't even have insurance on it. It's the first day I got it going. I got it out and whatever.
And like I said before, nothing's bolted in.
Nothing's bolted in.
We are all dead.
How many people do you think was it?
There was the 4 of us and you, so it's 5 of us.
5 of us in this van.
You and Chris in the front.
Just
Dill,
bodies.
Brendan, and I.
Nobody's strapped in, no nothing.
Nothing.
So we're going 35. And I'd say we were probably like 20 yards away from this red light. So I cracked it to the right. Down a side street.
So I'm in the back.
Yeah.
I remember looking at you. And I remember seeing you like trying.
Dude, it's a scary
You're like
feeling.
hitting stuff and you look back and you're like, the brakes.
Oh my God.
The brakes.
The closest thing that I can think of is if you're driving a car and just press the ground next to the brake pedal and just do that and act like you can't
While
stop,
you're still
dude.
just going.
That's the closest thing because you can't feel it unless you're in it moving and stuff.
And this doesn't have power steering, right?
No. God, no. That was the worst steering I've ever had in my life. It has a straight axle, so there's no, like, suspension.
So you have to pull no power steering, 35, this rust bucket.
And I'm all of, like, 110 pounds.
Yeah, you're small back then.
So I crack it to the right, and we go up, and if this was a normal street, we probably would have just been, like, fine.
Yeah.
Because we would have just coasted and stopped.
Don't forget, we almost slipped in that thing. I mean, you took a 90-degree turn at like 30
Dude, I think
miles an hour.
Some tires came up.
It felt scary.
We did, yeah.
It was scary.
Yeah. So we cracked it, dude, and everybody slams to the one side.
Yeah.
And we're going, I'm like, fuck, it's a dead end. It's a dead end.
We turn into a dead end.
It's a dead end. And so I'm like, shit. So now I'm just going to like crack it into the last person's yard and just try to coast it. But of course.
Railroad ties.
Yeah. Yeah,
there was on the ground.
There was railroad ties, and then there was a fucking fence, and we just landed on the fence.
You like the railroad ties? I remember slowed us down a lot.
Yeah,
because I think by the time we got to the end of the street, it was maybe like what 100 yards, like a football field length.
Yeah,
so we're probably down to like 20 miles an hour, but you still don't want to be crashing with no protection at 20 miles an hour.
Like 20 miles an hour when you have no brakes feels like 100,
but
because like, everything's coming still.
Dude, I'm looking at you.
To do.
And there's a speaker behind you and a battery just loose. Like I'm
the
thinking,
battery
like that,
was just loose. Yeah,
that 35-pound piece of heavy battery is just gonna hit somebody.
With acid.
It's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, dude.
Because there's just no the seats are all gonna squish like an accordion. We have nothing to stop us.
Dude, I'm so glad that we made that turn, and we landed on that fence because that guy came out, and then for some reason I think maybe the neighbors called the cops or something. The cops came up. And the guy goes, oh, shit. And he's like 65 at the time. He was like an old hippie guy.
Yeah.
He's like, shit. He's like, all right, guys, if the cops come up here, you're my nephew.
Yeah.
And you were helping me change the brakes, and they got away from us, and it just landed on. And he's like made up this whole story.
Yeah.
He's like freaking out. He's like tweaking. We're like, what the
Even
fuck?
though it was
all
our
right.
fault.
Yeah. And we're like, all right. So the cop just like kind of, the old guy is waving. So like cop just went and left. And then the guy's like, you know what? This fence needed to come down anyways. You guys all good? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, we'll see you later. I'm like, what the hell?
Dude,
and I had
he was
to,
up to sketchy stuff? Because he really was cool.
Dude, yeah.
He like really was cool.
He either had drugs in a house or like something was weird.
He didn't care at all that we destroyed his yard. We probably put big tire grooves in the grass because it was it's April. We probably destroyed his grass. And we took his fence down.
And I left it there for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Until, we went and got it with a tow truck.
And your dad came. I forget how we got back because we couldn't move the car, but that was a wild story.
Oh, my God, dude. That was scary.
That was very scary.
Scary when your brakes go out.
Scary when your brakes go out.
Well, the thing is with that van, I later found out that those vans were notorious for that. Because with the motor is basically in, remember how it was inside the van? in that like doghouse thing.
Yeah.
I guess with the heat, it overheats in there, and it heats up the brakes and the brake lines, and it fucks up with the fluid in there, and that's what clogs it and gets it all weird.
They didn't think of that thermodynamics in 2000 or 1966.
66, 67, they came out with the new brakes.
You should have got a 67.
Yeah, should have got a 67. 67, they came out with the 2 lines out of the master cylinder and all that stuff. Yeah.
And do you have any other issues with vans like that? Anything dangerous?
Nothing dangerous like that, dude.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Brakes.
That was
underrated.
And I'm like, dude, I was like 17, probably 18.
You were almost 18?
Yeah.
You're about to be 18.
That's a scary thing to do when you're first driving.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what was the van after that? It was a white van. Was it the 70 or the 80 something? Or the 69?
Talking about the old one or the silver
one?
one?
The one after the 66.
I think I had remember the 89 Chevy?
The one you would always sleep in.
Big Booty Judy?
Was the one, whatever one you would sleep in had a bed.
I had a bed in Big Booty Judy and and the white Econoline with the diamonds on the side.
So Big Booty Judy gets a name, but the white Econoline doesn't get a name?
Dude, I could never like find the right one, the right name for it.
Right name for it?
Yeah. Like it was.
Which one did you sleep in a lot in my driveway?
Both, dude. Both of them I slept in.
Which one led to some random guy walking around my house at night?
Benji, I keep forgetting about these stories. I'm so glad that you have a sharp-ass memory. Dude, so I was sleeping out in that Econoline. And, of course, we were all getting drunk a little bit and hanging out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was people sleeping in here or
Probably
I think I just chose to sleep in the van at some point. There's no logic. It's blazing hot in the morning. You wake up like a raisin, dude, in a tin box. But anyways, I was sleeping in the van, and I heard like Nicole, Russell, and like maybe Morgan leaving, or it was some 2 girls leaving the DZ, and this guy was like talking to him. I'm like looking out the driver's window. I'm like, what the hell? And he's like talking and talking. I'm like, fuck. So I put some pants on, and I went out there just to like make sure like. Because I didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. This is weird. So I think I actually called him over. It's like, hey, what you doing? And as soon as he turned around, Nicole and them like got in the car, drove off like real quick. So I'm like, fuck, this guy's weird. So he comes up and he's like, I'm looking for a party. And he was like, I think he was from like Poland.
Probably Polish, yeah.
And he's like, I'm looking for a party. And I was like, the party's over, buddy. I like there was no party here really. It was just guys hanging out. He's like, no, I'm looking for my friend's party that was on 85th Court. I'm like, you're on the right street. Just walk up and down. You'll see if there's a party going on, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Or recognize the house or whatever. And I'm like, if you need to come back, let me know. Because I was like, fuck, this guy's hammered. He's looking for a party. I don't want him to like, I don't know. I don't know why I cared about this guy. I was like, if you go up and down the block a couple times and come back if you need me or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm sleeping, and I don't know how long of time it had gone by. I don't know if it was like 20 minutes or an hour or what. I wake up to like a cold beer like touching my face, dude.
It's still nighttime.
It's nighttime, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was like 2:30 a.m. or something, you know, when I went into the van.
Yeah.
It's still nighttime, and there's a cold beer like touching my face. What the hell is that, dude? And it's this Polish guy in the van, dude. He's like, no time for sleep. Just drink with me. And I said, all right, dude. I'm like, fuck, man. This guy is like in the van, man. I'm in my underwear. And I'm like, shit. So I drank like 3 beers with this guy. He had a 6-pack. So I drank, with this guy, right? Like, shit. And I was kind of scared. But I just drank with him, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, well, buddy, I'm going to go to bed. And I think I saw him passing out on the bench next to my bed. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Fuck.
That's just a whatever moment? You don't know this guy.
Dude, you have to remember, I was drunk before I got in the van. And then I drank more. And then this guy was there, and I'm like, fuck, he's being nice. He's showing me like his cabinetry on his phone that he does as a hobby. And we had a good time. But I guess there was another part of the story that I can't tell because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Apparently he woke up.
He woke up.
From my van. He was probably confused. Or maybe he went in the house before he came to the van. Who knows?
No, he went after.
You think so?
He went around. He walked
no,
around
you
the
know what?
house.
I think he went in before because those were the beers that I drank with him.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we put it together because those 6-pack that he had was like from the house.
I was sleeping. I heard the story secondhand the next day. Mm-hmm. But he went into 2 different rooms. So think about this
house.
From my perspective, my home, my roommates are here. This random guy is walking around, snooping around upstairs. Isn't there a law when someone just goes like upstairs, it's like you can shoot them and not get in trouble? Like this guy's just snooping around like
dude,
sketchy. And he just goes into Chris's room.
Maybe shit's different from where he's from. Maybe he's from a small village where everybody just fucking just blah, 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 blah.
I don't think it's normal anywhere to just go into someone's house and go to the big people's bedroom.
Dude, you're probably right.
But he went to people's bedrooms and scared people.
Dude, they said they were waking up to a flashlight on him and shit.
There's a guy walking around. He's probably looking for his friends. He's probably hammered, not knowing where he is.
He didn't have a clue.
Probably. It seemed harmless, but not.
He definitely was, or else he would have killed me.
But sketchy, though.
That was a perfect victim.
You were a perfect victim.
So he must have been, he was mulling around in here, got the beers. True MVP. Came to Lair in the van.
Yeah.
Delivered the beer, slept in the van, woke up before me, and left. And I thought it was like a dream or something. Because I'm like, there was no way I was just partying with a fucking Polish guy that I didn't know in the van last night. There's no way, right? Like, there's no way. There's no way that happened. And so then we started piecing together the puzzle. But I want to know, like, what the hell was he thinking when he woke up sober in my van, in a stranger's van, at a stranger's house, in a driveway? Like, why?
He was probably quite confused, but
that's a weird situation to wake up from.
I have a feeling, like yourself, that this man probably was doing. He probably had a life where those things happened.
Maybe.
And he probably wasn't as surprised. Just like you weren't too shocked. You were like,
I was a little confused.
You were confused, but because
I was okay with it.
Exactly.
Maybe the normal person was like, get the fuck out of my van.
Exactly. Like me, I'd be freaking out. But you're like, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. What can you do? You know, you wake up and there's a Polish guy looking at you.
Does your wife ever question your decisions?
I got lucky. She's so like, he's gonna do what he's gonna do. You've talked to her.
Larry, he's just,
Yeah. I got lucky. I think as long as I am good and faithful and all the good things to her and everything, like, she don't care what I do. Whatever.
You're kind of like, you're still like just roaming free.
Yeah.
You still roam free.
Yeah. Just mulling the land.
Oh, your stories get me there. What, you got any other van stories? I'm trying to think of them.
Van stories, man. You remember them a little bit better than I do.
I remember them because you tell me them, and you always tell me them usually when I'm sober. Yeah. They're just so outrageous. I can't forget them.
Man, I'm trying to think of like van stuff, but yeah, I don't know.
And we could do a fun segue and come back to vans and cars whenever. But you've been the host of DZ Fest.
Yeah.
For 8 years, and would have been 9, and now would be a 10th if we could do it. What's that been like?
I think it was a learning curve. Those first years were bad.
I wonder why. What were you doing those first couple of years?
Yep.
You were just being yelled at by like 18 people.
Larry, get up there.
Larry, the band.
Well, I get talking to people, and then,
you might be the most like famous, unfamous person I've ever met.
I think we were talking about how we both, between the two of us, probably know a lot of people.
We know a lot of people, Larry.
Yeah.
Like, you know a lot of people for a different reason than I do, and I know a lot of people for a different reason than you, but we know a lot of people collectively.
Mm-hmm.
But like, your name, like, it just like radiates through the ether of the Southwest Chicagoland area. Now down to Tolono and Van Fest and these Greasy Sharks, and it's just all over the place.
Yeah,
it's
for
so
no reason.
Funny.
I don't know.
I think it's because you're an open book. You're a yes man. You go around. You're open to stuff. You do things. You spread your love and your life around.
Mm-hmm.
I relate. But yeah, hosting. What's it been like hosting? I never really asked you.
I was scared at first.
Yeah,
because it was something that I've never done anything like that before.
No one's really hosted a backyard music festival. That's not something people do daily.
And it wasn't like I was in a band, so I was like okay with being in front of a crowd like that too. So that was like the first time I've done something like that. So I was just up there just trying to wing it, and I'm trying to party and hang out and juggle everything, and
wear your outfits
But now it's like
walk in the park.
Yeah.
I must say, the last time we did it, you aced it. Definitely
you.
your best year for sure. With your leather pants in 96-degree weather.
Yeah, that was hot.
You've had some good outfits.
Yeah.
When do you start working on your outfits?
Usually around this time I start brainstorming.
March?
Yeah. March I start brainstorming and looking for things.
I wish we could do that. I wish I would be, talking to bands right now while you brainstorm for your outfit. Like you take 6 months to figure out your outfit, and I take 6 months to figure out this festival.
Well, there was times where I didn't plan anything, and I just looked like an idiot up there. Or not I just didn't look like
I think you've always had a good outfit.
Well, I appreciate that.
My favorite one is the fur overalls with
that's my favorite
the white
too.
shorts
and I matched the van because I had the same
what
fur.
What van was that? Which one was that?
The white one.
Which
69?
That was the
Conline.
Okay.
Yeah.
You brought that in the back. There was two you brought. Was it one year you brought it back both years?
Yeah.
13 and 14, or 16 and 15 and 14. 3 years, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember looking at photos from DZ Fest 2016. Your van was in it.
We got it pinstriped. Do you remember?
Yeah.
My brother-in-law pinstriped it.
Yeah, we roped it off and he pinstriped it in front of people. That was cool.
Yeah, people liked that.
That was really cool.
I think people were talking about that to me after that. Like, oh, Larry, I saw these getting pinstriped. This was cool. They liked that. Mm-hmm. But
did you? What was your favorite year to host, and what was your favorite year in general?
I think the last one because it went so smooth.
Yeah, you were on top of it.
Yeah, I think there was one year that my grandma passed away.
Oh shoot!
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it was like the night of.
Oh no!
And I just
the one that knew my grandma.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I remember that.
It was like 2016 or something, 17 maybe.
I think I remember it, but I think we were all too in the zone.
Yeah.
Because it's a stressful weekend, and I think we couldn't conceptualize it really well.
Yeah, I was just kind of moping around. Everyone's like, Larry, you gotta be the host. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying. Shut up.
I'm just sad my grandma just passed away.
Yeah, leave me alone. But yeah,
man,
that was the least favorite. The most favorite, probably last one.
Last one.
Yeah, it was so smooth, and it was like the coolest bands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's getting better every year,
Yeah, I mean, I hope we can do it again this year. It's funny, I was talking to our friend, Vinny, about it last night. He was like,
Do you know Vinny?
Vinny Crisostomo.
Vinny Crisostomo?
He's just like, what's your plan? What have we been doing? He's like, things are changing. People getting older. And I was like,
he's getting older.
I was like, Vinny, everyone loves coming back. Yeah. Everyone complains about it. And then they're there and they're like, this is great.
Yep.
It happens every time. It's the same story.
Vinny will be the one wearing a sweater vest when he's 50. And I'll be wearing the same shirt. You'll be doing whatever.
You've had that shirt for a while.
2010.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have known that unless I found a picture.
Were you wearing that when we crashed the van?
I don't know.
It looks familiar.
But I bought this in Target.
Really? It's a good shirt.
In 2010, Target had the best fucking shirts ever.
Fucking
shirts ever. I have a yellow one. It's just like a plain yellow t-shirt and then this. And it has lasted me for 11 years for some reason.
It's barely fitting you these days.
But it stretches and molds with my body.
Looking good. How long you been pumping iron?
I think I just turned 3 years working out.
3 years old?
Yeah, 3 years in the iron game old.
What has been the biggest pro and the biggest con from working out in the fashion that you have?
The biggest pro, I guess, is there's something to look forward to each day and a program to do. Even if it's a Tuesday, there's something you can I don't know, look forward to doing.
Mm-hmm. You feel good doing it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's some, that's kind of the highlight of my day for some reason.
Just working out.
Yeah.
And you started recently doing more cardio, right? Is that something you mentioned?
Cardio, yeah.
Recently.
I walk a mile is my cardio.
Dude, that's something though.
3 times a week. But
I mean, you probably might notice some type of different endurance change in
I
your
wanted to do it for
out.
my heart.
Exactly, because your heart. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
But I wanted to do it in a way that I wouldn't lose any weight.
Right.
So I had to do a low pace
walking,
a speed walk. I'm pretty winded afterwards, and that's what I want. But find a medium.
Treadmill outside.
Treadmill.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can keep track.
Right.
A little easier.
So you do a 1. What's mile per hour, do you think? Like 4 miles an hour or something? 5?
I think like it was average like 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach
Miles
and
an
I
hour.
get fast these days.
Dude, I see him fucking trucking past you when you show me the videos.
Oh, yeah.
He's out there.
Zach's
in
my
the tundra.
pacemaker.
Yeah.
We've been getting to under 15-minute miles walking, which is very fast. And we're doing this in
I couldn't even
hiking.
run a mile in 15 minutes probably.
Sometimes I have to do a little jog to catch up to him.
I bet.
He's a good pacemaker.
What does he got, long legs?
Longer legs, and he always did cross country,
Yeah.
and he's
I did cross country, but I can't do it anymore. I mean, everything you need to practice it.
Yeah, no, like when I did that 5K in January, I did well.
You
but
did it out of nowhere.
I did it out of nowhere. I
Oh
did
my
well, but it
God.
was brutal. I
Yeah.
did it in like 24 minutes with no practice or anything, so 8-minute miles.
Yeah.
And it was fun, but I was out for like 3 days with
Yeah.
no practice. Bad idea.
I think the only thing that got me into bodybuilding was pumping iron, though.
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that I liked.
What is it?
Because I'm not like a fitness guy, but I love 70s bodybuilding. Like, too much.
I know.
Yeah.
I love your little. So like
If
in
I
your
have
old. Sorry, go ahead.
If I have a hobby, the history of it is like what I love.
like
Everything.
cars.
Yeah,
Like
the cars, the bodybuilding,
Yeah.
skateboarding even. I love like a specific era.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And-
55 to maybe like 1981 and all of those.
What about art? Because you're also an artist.
I'm
Like-
an artist.
Like you've painted and you've
Yeah.
drawn. And what's your main? If you could pinpoint, if you can be honest with yourself, what's your main like art focus?
I think, well, I majored in ceramics. Like, I have a double major as a teacher and a ceramics artist. But I think my strength is drawing. Like, I'm
Really?
just like Julia's really good at painting, but,
Is she?
but
Speaking of,
yeah.
let's come back to what you're saying, but I want to do a segue because we should have mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast.
Oh, yeah,
and we didn't.
this is Julia's collages.
How great are they from
Yeah.
this distance on the camera?
Yeah, I don't know what you guys can see, but
I'll pull in close. Keep talking about them.
told Julia get something big, but she only had she doesn't make big things. Like she's not like she likes. If you look at all of her artwork, it's all tiny, tiny, tiny.
Yeah.
But she has a few big pieces that she had already like given away or sold, and this is just some of her recent stuff that she like actually wanted to show. So these are like. And I think a few of those are like photocopies, like that she was selling prints. And then there's a few originals. I think these two are originals there. But I think she like focuses on like
They're really cool collages.
I want to say like I can't speak for her because I don't really know, but a lot of it's like
This one's awesome.
she focuses.
This person putting like people on the horses.
Yeah.
That's cool. Does she have an Instagram where she displays these or sells anything?
She does sell things, and she has an Instagram. My phone's over there. It's probably I think it's Julia.
This is your
Can you
Larry's
put
wife
it
we're
on
talking
there?
about,
Can you
right?
put it on there? Yeah.
Here,
But
I'll
how
go-
many times do you
keep
look at your
talking.
wife's Instagram's handle?
I'll get it off my phone. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right.
But she has definitely got her strengths, and I've got my strengths in art. But she's applying to get her
Is she under Julia 392? Or does she
Yeah.
have an artist page?
No, that's the one. And then she has another one that's her teaching page.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so under Julia, so Hulia 392 is where you can find a lot of her art. She does a lot of this. She drew that?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Her brother drew it, and she shaded it and colored it.
Oh, wow. So her brother's an artist as well?
He's an engineer,
Oh, shoot.
but he's artistic. Yeah.
Clearly, yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yup.
I love that. I'm like, Larry, bring some big artwork.
No, you said bring Julia's artwork.
But you know, you've been in this room.
But it's like, dude, if you took like one of those guys who made one of these big things and said make us tiny little art thing, it's like you got to do what you got to do. You do what you do.
I'm just breaking your balls because it's fun.
I'm gonna take a piss.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll entertain the listeners.
Bum 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 bum.
All right, I'm back.
Bum.
Go take your piss. Oh boy, I'll tell the history of our friendship, Larry. So I met Larry my junior year of high school. He was a freshman. We're 2 years apart. I'm 31. He'll be 29 in May. We had lunch together. Bunch of friends. One of the craziest lunch experiences I ever had. It was maybe 9, 10 of high school friends from all ages, from freshmen to sophomores. And Larry was a freshman, and I was a junior. We had a blast. We had a crazy time. And that's how I first met him. And I didn't realize that his parents knew my parents and his grandma knew my grandma. And then this was spring 2007, sorry. So yeah, I've known him for 14 years. And then the following fall, he started hanging out. My friend Eddie, who lives here, used to hang out with him. Obviously still hangs out with him. And he started bringing him around more. We've been best buds ever since, and I've known him for a long time. We've been through a lot of crazy stuff, and we know a lot about each other, and his stories are hysterical. He keeps me entertained every single time he comes here. He's got something. Like today, he shows up late for the podcast. I told him every single day this week. Probably annoyed him. I was like, Larry, 5 o'clock Friday, bring artwork. What does he do? He shows up at 6:20 with the world's smallest artwork.
Dude, someone put the lock on my locker.
Put the headphones back.
And then, dude, the dad wagon was terrible on the highway.
Why?
There's something wrong with the steering, dude. Every time I get up to like 65 and I hit a bump, the whole thing is like this.
Larry.
Like this, dude. The whole thing's like this. And so I slow down and it evens out at like 50. And then I slowly get back up to 65 and I bounce and I bounce. And
Why
I'm
do you
trying
do
to
this to yourself? Can I have a suggestion for you?
Yeah.
Have your car collection.
Yeah.
And then have like at least like a 2015 or something that you know will get you up here to visit your friends, your family, work, what have you.
When Julia gets her, she just paid off her Fit, so I'm gonna get something. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna get a Ford Flex.
It's the car payment is worth the knowing I'm good and safe. Newer cars are safer.
Also, if you take care of it, dude, it's not like buying a used car that's like maybe 10 years old. If you've owned it for 10 years, you know that you've taken care of it. You know, it's not like,
Right, if you buy something...
I bought a car brand new, dude, I would fucking last me for the rest of my life.
What would you get and what year and why?
A brand new car?
Maybe not brand new, like realistically based on where you are with
like
life.
A new car now?
No, like if you're going to get a car, because you just said your wife paid off hers.
Yeah. What
car would you get and why? And what year?
Is money a factor?
Yes, relative to your existence now.
All right. I'm like I said, I'd probably get like a Ford Flex, which is like an SUV type thing. I like boxes. I like squares.
What year?
I don't even know. I don't even know the years, dude. I just know.
It probably wouldn't be brand new because it'd be expensive.
Couple years.
Probably a couple years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And just because it's a box?
Well, I always haul parts and shit, so I need something
you need a truck.
has, And I don't like trucks. I don't want a truck.
Wait.
I'm not a truck guy.
So,
I'm a van guy or SUV
You've
guy.
had a ton of trucks.
Yeah.
You've
but they're
like
little. They're
4.
little Rangers, right?
You like Ford Rangers.
Yeah. I like them, but now they're too old to actually, like...
maintain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were in high school, you can buy them for $1,000 and they'd run forever, but now they've run forever and, yeah. I learned that the hard way. I bought my last truck from a sweet old man in Palos Hills over here. I paid $100, $2,000 maybe. And he was so sweet. He was like, yeah, my neighbor bought this thing brand new. He died. And I bought it. And, you know, I drove it around for a couple of years, whatever. And it had like 70,000 miles on it, dude. It was like brand new.
Yeah.
Like, what can go wrong? But I guess the thermostat was so old that it had, and the thermostat kind of regulates the coolant going in and out of the motor and like how it cools off. And I guess it stuck. And I was driving it in the winter, and as soon as the weather broke and it started overheating, dude, it overheated once, and I blew the head gasket on it, and that's basically...
That's a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of work. I could have done it, but... I just didn't want to.
Yeah. If you were to bring it into somewhere, how much would it cost to get fixed?
Probably, I don't know, like $1,500.
That's a lot of money.
Probably what I paid for the thing. for the truck.
I love how you go, it's not a lot of money. $1,500 for a car that's...
To bring it in.
That's
but
what I'm
for the
talking
gasket, it's like, I would even say like $65 to $100.
How often
it's a
do
lot
you
of
bring a
work.
car in versus just doing it yourself?
I bring it in if it's like suspension. I don't like working on suspensions. I want it to be like professionally done.
Like the foundation of the car?
Yeah, like this van, I'll probably bring it in. I'm bouncing down the road.
You don't got a guy? Because you got a guy for everything.
I got a guy, his name's Kurt.
Kurt? So you do have
Kurt,
a guy?
yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
He basically lives on a farm, and he opened up his own business in his barn.
Oh, cool.
And he works on cars
Yeah.
in his barn.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's cool, and he gives you good deals. And he'll tell you, well, he knows that I work on cars, so he'll tell me, like, oh, I found this. You need to fix this. Yeah. He won't just fix it and then charge me.
Amongst the car communities, there's like a camaraderie of like hooking each other up, honesty, not ripping each other off.
Not so much the mechanics, but like I'm into like buying and selling parts and stuff, but like among friends, I would just like, we like to trade.
You've traded a lot of stuff, right?
Trade, yeah. It's your best friend.
What's the deal with the El Camino?
The El Camino needs like just everything, but
I said that because it's just a straight up shell.
Yeah.
In your driveway.
But me and my brother and my dad put new floors in it, so that was like the biggest thing that
what about
needed.
The windshield? Did you put that in? Because last time I was there, we literally put it on there.
Yeah, I haven't put it in yet because I don't know if you remember, there was like a little bit of rust between, like on the dash.
Yeah.
I want to fix that before I put the windshield in.
Got it.
Yeah. Dude, but it's getting close.
It's getting close.
Like everything is. That's the thing that with cars, with bodybuilding, with all that stuff, it teaches you patience because it really is. It's not like an instant thing. You can't.
I've been learning that, like working out every day. You know.
Yeah, or like anything that you're passionate about. Like everything is like just takes time.
It's a lifelong adventure.
That's why I think a lot of people don't have like hobbies like we do.
No, it's a lifelong thing.
Yeah, they're like into like maybe video games, which you can get instant.
You get instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Something else.
You pay, $800. You got the controllers, the games, the console, the TV.
Yeah, you're ready to go.
But with like focusing on your health,
like building
working
muscle
out,
and
doing that, and then cars. I mean, that's a huge hobby. Like
because a lot of it's just waiting on getting the right part for the right deal, or having the money to buy the right part for the right deal, and the time to put the parts together. Like all that stuff is like, dude, it's not gonna happen like that.
How much money do you think you put into cars since you were 15?
I think I've made more than I've spent.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've never sold a car for less than I bought it for.
Okay.
Ever. Out of the 15.
Even counting like the stuff out of the 50. Even counting the stuff you've put into it, the money you put into it.
Yeah.
You've always made money. So you've been really savvy with your purchases.
Yeah.
Because that would eat me up,
dude. Yeah.
You got that knowledge from your dad?
Mm-hmm.
He's been a car guy forever.
He probably made more money when I was a kid buying and fixing cars and selling them than he did working at a warehouse.
Yeah.
Then he made more as a truck driver. But
yeah. Does he still have the 67 Nova?
Yeah. I keep telling him I want that one.
He just won't.
No, I said I said, Dad, I'll sell all 6 of my cars and give you all of the money, and he's just laughed at me.
He just laughed?
He just laughed at me.
Why?
I don't know.
He doesn't think...
He knows that I'll take that 4-cylinder out of it and put a V8 in it.
Oh, he doesn't want you to do that?
No.
Because that ruins the value?
Not so much the value, but it's only got, dude, I think it's got like, what was the mileage on it?
It's low, right?
Yeah, it's like 6,800 miles, like 6,800
miles.
What is
it worth?
Some guy offered him like 12 grand at a car show, and he said no.
Is it not? Is it still not? Is it covered? Or is it still exposed to the sun and elements?
I haven't been over there in a while. I think it's exposed, but he got everything repainted, so it's like sealed. Why didn't
you just get a cover for it? I mean, a 6,800 miles from a 67 Nova is unheard of.
Dude, he bought it from a guy who's now like 92, and he bought it from an old lady when he was younger, and she only brought it to church and back, and brought it to this guy who had a carburetor shop here in Summit, Bob Gibson, and she was like, there's no horsepower. I can't, I feel like it's not going, and it was because it had a tiny 4-cylinder, and they only made like 480 of them that year. Because they were not, they just weren't good. 4 cylinders weren't good yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 cylinders
6 cylinders were the
now.
ones. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the way to go.
Like
4 cylinders now.
SUVs have 4 cylinders.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and they're really strong.
And
really
trucks
powerful.
have 6 cylinders, and they haul shit.
It used to be you had to have like a 5.9 V8 to like get anything done, and now it's like 4. Like my Honda Civic's a joke. It's like a 1.7 liter 4-cylinder, 1.7 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
And I've gone fast in that thing.
That thing is a rocket ship.
It is. When you're alone, as soon as you add a bunch of bodies in that car, it's
Do you
want
to tell us about the 2 scratches you have on it? Tell us. Come on. Tell us.
Well, there's a scratch on the front.
Yeah. What happened?
Okay. So I'm hanging out. My friends hang out in the garage.
Yeah.
A lot.
Uh-huh.
And they like to lean on the car.
Yeah. That's a big no-no.
It's big. Thank you.
It's a big no-no. You don't lean on the car.
You don't lean on the car. Thank you. You should tell that to these people.
You can't. What are you going to say?
And I see where they're sitting. The next day, I see a nice gash. Like, it's not a scratch, dude.
I've seen it, yeah.
It's a screwdriver went into that thing. Clearly, someone's keys on the back of their pants. Clearly.
Yup.
And it's a gash.
Mm-hmm. Brand new Honda.
Yeah. And then in the back bumper, that's my fault. See, this is the thing about being an adult. You know when something is someone else's fault, and you got to own up to when it's your fault.
Got to look in the mirror.
I'm an idiot. I put my car in the garage. I don't use my back camera to realize that the door is too close, and the garage door comes down and hits the bumper and puts it puts these gnarly
like a
Freddy
gargoyle
Krueger
landed
just
on it.
like gashes. They're not scratches, like metal just digging through plastic.
Yeah.
I had to own up to that one. That was embarrassing and that was annoying, and I was like, are you serious? I just bought this car.
Are any of those, so on the bumper obviously it's plastic, right?
Yeah.
So it won't rust. The front though, is that on a metal piece?
It's metal. It's a front fender.
You got to go get it painted.
Really?
It'll rust away. Even if you keep it nice and clean, the salt, once that clear coat scratches away, you're fucked.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I keep it in the garage all year round, and I car wash monthly.
Yeah. I mean, it'll probably be better.
I hope.
Yeah.
So get it painted. How much do you think it costs to paint that little scratch? $100?
No. They'll probably do the whole fender.
They can't just like bam? Can I
because they gotta
bam it?
They gotta fog it.
Can I do something to just put a little clear coat, just protect it?
You can go to a place and
I know a guy.
Yeah.
You can hook me.
There's a guy that my family goes to in Summit.
Okay.
It might be a couple $100, but
what for a scratch?
Yeah, they gotta sand the whole thing down and paint the whole thing. You gotta prime it.
It's not gonna match. That paint's faded for 6 years of life.
Oh, it's a dead ringer. They'll get it. That's if they paint the bumper or the fender, then they'll like polish the next.
But I've seen it countless times when someone gets a section of their car painted, and after like a year or two, it just doesn't match because there's different aging processes of weather and life and car and sunlight and exposure and
bad body guy,
radiation.
Bad body guy. Gotta get him out of here.
I don't know.
You can match that.
I don't know.
Should be able to match it.
Why don't you? You do this stuff, right? You paint.
I would love to like learn how to do the body work.
Well, the second one was a little quicker.
You know how it goes. You know how it goes, dude. How long has this thing been though?
How long do you think it's been?
2 beers is usually like an hour and 10 minutes.
You measure in beers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. I know how long it's been because I can see the time. I'm not going to tell you because I think it's more fun.
Do you think that I'm close though? No? I'm far?
Relative to what we've been doing, technically, it's an hour and 40-ish, an hour and 35 we are.
Okay.
Close.
But on the thing.
Yeah.
An hour and 30?
About an hour and 35.
So I'm close.
Close.
An hour and 10.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
25.
25 minutes off. We should cut it off though. Because I want to make it a thing where it's like someone who's like just tuning in for the first time will be like not bored, right?
Well, you just opened up another beer.
So
we're not done.
I'm just saying.
This is why I didn't tell you time because you're obsessed with time.
I am.
Why?
I don't know because I think of it as me, what I would want, and I'm not like you said. You would listen to podcasts for like while you're doing other things. I'll sit down and I'll watch a YouTube video, so I can do like an hour and a half, 2 hours watching stuff in my living room, and that's what I would. Yeah,
but that's you though.
That's me. That's what I'm basing it off of. But do you think the normal guy is more like me or more like you when they're listening to podcasts?
I think it depends.
Or YouTube or whatever.
I think it depends on the intent and the context. Because some people, like a lot of podcasts, I listen to a ton of them, and a lot of formulas or formats would be like an hour to an hour and a half. But it's all about your intent. Like that's deliberate, and you tell your audience like, this is what it is.
Hang on.
But
hang on for this ride.
If you're a 3 to 4 hour one, like how I kind of am, like about 3 to 4 is usually what it is.
Yeah.
That's the audience. That's
how many people do you get that finish the video?
I don't know.
It won't tell you?
I mean, it says how many views, but I think that percentage is maybe if you get 20 or 30, 50% into it, it tells you get a view. I don't think it's a complete.
You don't think it's completion?
0 minute to 4 hours, then you get your 1 view on YouTube, But that's not why I do. I don't care about that. I get it. I do it based on what feels right. We do this until we feel like it's done.
Yeah. I get it. But you got to find a balance, right? Like, what do people want? But we don't have to talk about that.
I don't know what people want.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. I do what I want.
They don't know what they want.
I do what I want.
Yeah.
And
do you remember when I tried to do like a podcast like a year ago?
Hey, why didn't you do it? I told you about all the
gear. Because my location is trash, dude. What would I do?
No one coming in
myself.
Tolono, Illinois.
Yeah.
Your videos you do are hysterical. And
workout ones?
That could be a podcast. You can have people on. The what was it about working out your chest or like stomach like crunches or something?
Oh yeah.
Sit-ups?
Don't do abs.
You're like, don't do abs. What was your reasoning?
Don't do abs until you can see your abs.
So what's your assessment on me then if I do them every day? Because I do.
You can see yours though, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But they weren't there first.
That was because the fat was covering him.
But I lost weight and did them simultaneously.
Well, see, that's the thing is you actually did lose the weight. Yeah. Some people just like do crunches and they don't do any cardio or nothing. Yeah, they don't do anything, yeah.
Yeah.
So if they're going to only work out for 10 minutes, they might as well not do the abs.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you're saying. So it depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you going to do the walking and the running to lose the fat and then do the working out of the upper body and the chest to show it? Okay.
Right.
I see it.
Yeah, because most
So you approve my method?
Yeah. I mean, it worked, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Everything's different for everyone. Every single person's different. That's crazy.
They are. They really are.
Like, if you look at a video, like a picture of me from like when I was like 6, just have abs. Like, there's some people that like just like I don't need to do abs.
I had them without doing anything.
Yeah.
Like
if you're skinny,
like 13, 14, 15, 16, I have like a 6-pack and I didn't like do anything.
It's like saying you have biceps. If you're small enough, you can see your bicep.
Yeah.
If you're fat, it's covered. It's the same. Everyone has abs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just if you can
they
see
can
them
get
or not.
more pronounced if you work them out.
Everyone has the anatomy. They're there.
Yeah.
So can you see them?
So why? So
I don't think
your main focus is like upper, like chest to shoulders to biceps to triceps. To back,
my biggest thing is I want it like a V shape, like shoulder to waist.
Yeah.
Is my biggest thing. So lats and legs right now is what I want.
Lats and legs.
Lats and legs. That's what my winter focus is this year. Yeah.
Why lats and legs?
Because they're the parts that my legs were lagging, so I didn't want to be one of those guys that had like stick legs and like a decent upper body.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to hit my legs, so I've been doing less upper body stuff recently.
So based on what you just said, in your objective...
Because bodybuilding at its essence is just art. It's building the physique of what you... It's like how a sculptor would put clay on a figure.
Yeah.
It's like how you would shape the ideal physique. So that's why some guys will have like really big arms, but like their body would not win a physique show. Or a bodybuilding show.
You're an artist.
Yeah. That's how I look at it,
So you're an artist. So that's interesting. So how does it... Okay, so being in the art world and you went to school and studied art at ISU and you've made a lot of artwork. You know a lot of artists. But then you get into the bodybuilding world. How do you make that crossover? Because that always gets associated with being like a meathead, a bro,
a
person the gym head,
Yeah, the opposite of what bodybuilding to me is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you bridge that gap? How do you make it to where it's not about that and it's more of the art and it's a health factor, obviously. It's a byproduct of working out.
Yeah.
But also like it's an art form, like you said. How does it not get like obsessive and like annoying to people? How do you keep it fresh, healthy, and like in your world?
So going back to like how I got into it was pumping iron, and they do talk about how it's like an art form, and it is like this guy Robbie Robinson talks about how the dumbbells are his brushes and things like that, and he just kind of like paints his physique in the mirror. But if you like look at like competitions from like the 60s to the mid 80s and watch them pose, and they're hitting things that look so like statuesque, and it's like you can tell like there's a difference between the gym bro and that guy on the stage.
Yeah.
And it's totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different. Bodybuilding.
So you're more attracted to that.
Yeah.
Than like
the art of the posing and the illusion that your body is the perfect.
Why do you say illusion?
Because a guy that is like maybe not the biggest guy could look like he is the most the biggest in terms of his shoulders are bigger than his waist,
Mm-hmm.
and his calves are, nice and big, and
Mm-hmm.
everything just looks balanced.
Yeah.
Will make somebody look bigger if they're instead of walking around like with a big torso and like, tiny legs and stuff like that. If it's balanced in proportion and symmetrical, that's why I'm 170 pounds. But in a picture, I look like I'm 200 maybe.
You think so?
I think I look a little bigger in pictures.
I'd say maybe
if I'm
180 at most.
Yeah.
Because
we're
we're about the same weight.
Yeah.
I just want to go on record. Everyone listening.
Yeah.
This man gives me a lot of crap, but we weigh the same.
Yeah.
And you're taller than me.
But
So how is that possible? Actually, I weigh more than you. What do you weigh right now?
173.
Okay, we weigh the same. I weigh 173 this morning. So we weigh the same, but you're 2 inches taller than me.
But who looks bigger
I
in
don't
a
know.
picture?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably you?
It's the posing and everything, right?
You're taller, though.
Yeah.
You have broader shoulders.
It's the illusion. That's what I like.
Yeah. So
The illusion
what
and
would
the
you
art-
tell me that I should work on based on the way I look?
I would say your shoulders, because
Yeah.
you can always build that wider,
Yeah.
and your lats.
Yeah. What are
'Cause-
lats? Where are those? These?
Those are
This.
Yeah, that whole thing. And that's
Yeah.
like the pull-ups like you've been doing and stuff.
Yeah.
Any back workout.
Pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, all that, yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the home workout a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I'm
prison workout.
I've gotten, I've
I
gotten
had a really
obsessed
good
with it.
setup. I had a really good setup, but I sold it because I used it less at home.
I
need to like.
remember
I need to
being
go
at your house doing it.
I need to go out and like. When I drive there, I've got the pre-workout in that I drank, and I'm like, it's like a
Yeah.
ritual that I'm like, change my mindset. I'm not at
Yeah.
home anymore. I'm at not work, but I'm gonna do some work that's like
It's
I
a
concentrate.
mindset. It's a
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah, and I found it hard to concentrate at home when I was stuck at home. Like I felt like I was just like thinking of
It
different
wasn't doing it
things.
for you.
Yeah,
A lot of people like that. Like, as you know, like a lot of artists need to go to a space.
like a studio or
Like
something.
they need to get away. A lot of musicians need to go to like the studio, the band practice, where they mix, where they work, where they edit. Some people have a hard time. I think.
Or like a lot of people working from home don't like it. So it's just like you
Right.
never leave. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I've had a lot of experience working at home, and I applied that to the working out.
yeah.
Because I've forced myself. I get up every day at 7 a.m., but I don't have a schedule.
Yeah.
So like I've forced myself to like do that, and I work out
I found
every
that
day.
goes
at
a
the same
long
time.
way.
Yeah.
If you wake up at a certain hour to an alarm clock every day, that's, because now I was unemployed for 3 months because of the COVID thing. So I started student teaching this week. So
How was it?
it was good.
Yeah.
I wasn't used
Student
to good
teaching
kids.
or substitute teaching?
Substitute
Because
teaching.
you already have a degree, so you've already
Did I say student teaching?
did.
It's the beer talking. Substitute teaching.
Some Polish guy's gonna come here and touch the beer across
No
your
time
face.
for Larry, my old friend.
I'm back for you.
Kiss my beer.
So you've been substitute teaching. What's that
Yeah.
like?
Dude. So the school I worked out up here was good, but the schools that I worked at down in Central Illinois were like kind of rough, and some teachers are like built for that, and it's like that's like where they need to be,
Yeah.
and I think that's great because those kids need like someone like that. But I was not the type of person that enjoyed working in an environment where I was breaking up fights and like I would see like kids like swearing at the principal, and it was just like stuff that wouldn't fly at other schools. But like when you have so much stress in the home life and all this stuff, there's things that come with like poverty and
Of course.
and all that stuff. So like you pick your battles. If a kid swears at you or something, but they're maybe going to get their homework done instead of have like a complete meltdown, then, you know, your day's a win. But I didn't want that for my work life every day.
You couldn't, it wasn't for you exactly.
No, I was going crazy, man.
Isn't that sad though? Like you're just a person.
Yeah.
And you're trying to apply what you learned in school and your education, your work ethic, what you've grown up with. Because you grew up, you know, in a city where it's mostly white people, but I don't
till high school, right?
Then but I'm saying like where you grew up, like Old Justice, you know, but it's still like low income.
Yeah.
But because like Broad Nicky and these schools we went to were not like fancy schools.
No.
So like you were familiar with it, but it was like another level.
But I was a bad kid too. So.
Yeah. So did you relate to the kids then?
I did too much, probably. You know, I don't know. I wasn't like, to me, like working at like a school would be just like you go in, you can actually teach the subject, you know, and not have to teach like classroom like
manners and stuff.
Yeah, like that stuff. I'm not good with that.
But
like,
I'm not that.
I'm
you're
not that
speaking
guy.
to a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say having that experience? Which is how many years did you teach? 3?
3 years teaching. Yeah.
3 years, like what? 24 to 27.
16. I would have been 24. Yeah, so 24 to 27. Yeah.
That number out there, but yeah. So like. You learned a lot from that, and you saw that poverty in the education system from K through 12 has a lot of issues.
I don't think that it wasn't so much the education side, because the people that were there really cared, and they were just as knowledgeable about the subject, and if not more passionate about the subject than someone who walks into a school and they don't have to deal with some of the violence or the you know, maybe the parents are like on certain drugs or something that's like, you know, you have to be really in a different, like, I'm not that guy, right? I just said that. Like, I'm not that guy that would care so much to like jeopardize my own mental health, I guess. But some people are able to do it and it doesn't affect them as much. It just affected me a little more, I guess.
How did it affect you?
I just felt like I wasn't getting anything done. You know, I felt like I'm sitting here, you know, working 8 hours a day and then staying after 3 hours for different after school activities and stuff. And then like, it just never ended. And I wasn't getting anything. There was nothing getting, I don't know. I just felt like I should have been doing more, but I was doing so much, you know.
So what would you say?
And I think a lot of the teacher friends that I know that I graduated with have felt the same way. So I you know, I don't know.
What would you say is the biggest issue then? Would be like the home life, the poverty, the upbringing?
I think it's it's not a foundation at home. Because I think, you know, the biggest thing for me when I was at school was being more scared of going home after I was in trouble, you know, because you get in trouble when you get home.
Way
like,
worse.
Probably way worse.
Way worse.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because there's such a thing as dads who are tired from work.
Yeah.
And dads who are old school, who were born in the 50s.
And they don't want you to fail or do whatever.
No, because they saw that.
Right.
They saw that growing up in the 60s and 70s. They saw what happens to their friends who failed in life.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They're harsh. I get it. You know?
So when you don't have something like that type of structure, even a little bit goes a long way at home, you know, because you're only with them, 45 minutes?
Just a parent paying attention, like, did you do your homework?
Yeah.
Versus no parents around at all to even mention homework.
Right. Or you're babysitting your mom because she's, like, doing drugs or whatever.
Yeah, dad might not be around.
Yeah.
So we both had our parents around.
Yeah, that makes a whole...
Just being present.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is, like, boys with dads. That thing, I think, is, like, something special for some reason.
It is. You need a male figure to give you an example, a structure, how your dad treats your mom.
Yeah.
You know, your dad treated your mom well.
Yeah.
Your parents were pretty much no drugs. They were sober. Right?
Yeah. No beer, no nothing.
My parents too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that goes a long way, regardless of how they might yell at you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, yeah.
Even discipline.
And it's out of love. It's not out of abuse or anything, you know.
Well, it's like they all grew up. These are baby boomers. They grew up from their parents were called the silent generation, dude.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to speak.
Yeah.
Because they got whipped, dude. Great Depression. A dime
Honestly,
was $1 million.
Dude, the silent generation is low-key cool as shit, though. They're so cool, man.
Dude, they're so old school.
Yeah.
The stuff.
Like, Julia's grandparents are still alive.
Okay.
And I haven't had that. I think you haven't. Well, you had Rosemary for a while.
Yeah, my grandparents have been gone for a bit.
Me
a long
too.
time, yeah.
I think I lost 3 of my 4 grandparents in like 2001.
Yeah, long time.
I was young.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get to know them really, but knowing Julia's grandparents, they're cool as shit. I love it.
Yeah. But then once in a while, they say something. You're like,
dude, her grandparents are cool as shit.
Really?
I'm telling you. Yeah, no, they're like
no
cool.
creepy, weird, racist
no racist
stuff pops
shit.
up?
Nothing.
No? Okay.
Nothing. One time. And it wasn't out of hate. It wasn't out of hate. And I'm not going to name the grandparent, okay? All right, so they used the word like, all right, it wasn't out of hate. It was just an out-of-date term, right? And it wasn't like the N-word or anything. It was Oriental.
I just wish
so it was like
the world saw your face change.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, they're good. Well, there's this one time.
I remembered the one. Okay, these grandparents went to China, okay?
Okay.
So they studied abroad. They kind of like, they're like, her grandparents are cool as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they like went there just to do this while they were retired. And they were on the, Great Wall of China and stuff. And they'll like use, fuck, man, I don't know. They won't see this. But they were just using words like Oriental, which is like, you should just say Asian. But they weren't saying it as like.
It could be based on time and place, like where they're from.
Just old.
How old? 90s?
83.
Old enough.
84, yeah.
Old enough to where you're born in the 30s.
Yeah.
It's a different time.
Yeah. And it wasn't out of like,
It wasn't out of malice.
Yeah.
Right? It was just out of ignorance.
It was just the way they were describing, like, oh, I got this Oriental, like, cup or something. And I got it from this Oriental guy or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like,
Well, the thing is, like, with that is, like, it's challenging when someone's 83. Like, what are you going to do? Like, just correct them? They'll be like, what do you mean?
And it would be different if somebody was like, that goddamn Oriental.
Sure.
Or, that's a totally different feeling.
Yeah.
And then you can say, it's like, I've done that. Like, hey, chill out,
Yeah.
Not to them, but they weren't saying it like that.
Context is important.
Context is big.
Just understanding intent and realizing someone might just be using a word because they might just be, it's something they learned and they don't
totally
know.
Ignorant, yeah.
Like, what other 83-year-olds correcting them?
Yeah.
When they're hanging out with their buddies playing.
Who the hell knows?
Playing dominoes and playing whatever, Skippo or whatever they're playing, rummy. They're not learning about political correctness.
I'm going to be bad when I'm old.
You are.
I don't know. We all will. We all will because the world will just move on.
It depends unless you stay with it and you keep moving along with it and pay attention.
I guess it would be easier for our generation because we can we got
cell phones.
Dude, I already feel like a generation gap with the Zers though. Like there's already something
new people.
Different. Yeah.
What are they called?
Gen Z.
No, like the new, like kids being born in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I don't even know that. They might be still. Nah, I think there's something else.
They'll be called like Generation Woke or something.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You know all you can do.
It's not that that's not like we're like,
all you can do is try to pay attention.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
If you hear something or a term or a phrase or a word you don't get, ask.
See, but this is the thing, Benji. All them grandparents and shit were like us, like just normal people, right? And then there comes a time where you're just so fucking old that the world just changes.
Yeah.
And you're just in a completely different world.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be the guys that remembers without the internet.
All right. So what you do in that case is every 2 years, just Google words you can't say and why. Just for the rest of your life, just do that and be like, all right, Jules, guess we can't say love anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever. This is a bad example, but you know what I'm saying? Like, try your best to self-educate and just be up to date. And that's all you can really ask for.
That's all you can do, man.
That's all you can do because you're right. As soon as you get family, kids, mortgage, house, payments, the world just flies past.
Those kids had totally different upbringings than we did at some point. Then they're like what their normal is like.
Yeah.
They would look at us and be like, what the fuck?
Well, that's
they're going to watch, they're going to watch comedies from 2006 and be like, what the fuck?
Like 40-Year-Old Virgin.
And we're going to be laughing.
Yeah.
I still laugh at those things, but there's a couple times where they like use like retard or something. You're like, oh shit,
you're
I
like,
like this movie, but god damn.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's better ways to say that.
Yeah.
There's new, but that's the thing though. Like
20 years ago.
We evolve.
What the fuck you gonna do?
We evolve. We learn. You learn that like that word. We've learned what it means to people.
Yeah.
And how offensive it is, you know. And you learn like, there's better ways to say it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, instead of getting really mad and hateful at someone, you just be like, okay, I understand you use that, but just know like that hurts people that have any type of mental illness or mental intelligence.
I remember I used that word when I was a youngin' boy.
Yeah.
And I said retard in front of my aunt, right? And I didn't even know what it meant.
Yeah.
But my cousin, who's like 6 years younger than me, so she's probably like 4, and I'm like 10 or something.
Yeah.
And she has Down syndrome.
Oh.
And she taught me, what that meant and what, and I never used it after that. But, it just goes to show you don't always, I was a kid, but.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's adults.
You'll learn.
Adults, I've heard adults use it.
Yeah.
I remember using that word just even in high school.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
There was a lot of words we used in high school. And it's like, dude, we're 14, 15, 16. That's all we know. That's what you're told. Mm-hmm. Your older siblings and cousins used it. It's what you're taught. Sometimes your parents used it.
Yeah.
And you're really taught that. The internet's not there Twitter and Instagram mobs are not there to destroy your life because you used the wrong word and you didn't know any better.
Yeah. So there is some good in some social media action, but
there's good because people can be more
I think I'm going to get rid of my Facebook.
Get rid of it.
Just for a couple weeks.
Get rid of it. Why do you need it? Why do you even have a
Facebook Marketplace, dude? I find all kinds of deals on there. That's the only reason I
create
want
a side profile that no one knows about and just use it through there.
Yeah, maybe.
Start over.
Yeah.
What do you need it for? I barely use Facebook. When do you see me on posting stuff on Facebook?
I see you like my stuff sometimes.
Yeah. I just do that because you post so much, it just pops up in my face. My guys are gonna like this. You know what I mean? Though I'm not very active on Facebook. Yeah. Instagram kind of.
You know what I do hate though? I hate that like you see like your aunt and your like mom or something like arguing and then like they're weird at like family things now because of social media. Mm-hmm. They've been cool for 50 fucking years.
Yeah, they didn't realize that high school was over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell? And like in person, they would have been fine. Facebook, they shared one meme and then that's it.
That's why I don't do it.
Yeah.
That's why like
crazy.
I veer from the chats and all of it because it's like I want to just do this.
Yeah, this is cooler.
You can understand like you see what's going on. You see my face. You can read my body.
Yeah,
you get my intent. If I said something that might have been a little off the cuff, maybe a little rude, you realize like in the moment you'd be like, oh shoot, like you get I don't have malicious intent, you know?
Right.
But
Facebook, there's a
balance. Instagram, Twitter, there's
once it's in text, man, it's like you just look at it and that's
I had a fun realization analogy yesterday.
Where'd you get this?
The internet. I don't know. So I just Googled big plexiglass for 48 inches by 36 inches.
Perfect for the table.
Yeah, I did the measurements.
Yeah, okay.
But I was walking yesterday, 2 days ago with Zach, and we did like a 6.5 mile walk, and we were walking past the golf course in Payless, the Hickory Hills one, on 99th. Mm-hmm. We went to Strange Brew, and we were walking, and there's a coyote in the golf course. And this coyote was big. Yeah. It looked like a wolf.
A yoke.
Scary.
Yeah.
But we had a chain link fence with some barbed wire on it.
Oh, then
and I'm sitting there talking crap to this coyote. I'm like, come get it.
Yeah.
Because the fence is there. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
And I look at Zach.
You're throwing barbed wire on a fence, you're set.
Well, I'm like, come on. Come do something. And the thing's looking at me. This thing would kill us.
Yeah.
But it can't. And I look at Zach and I was like, this is the best metaphor for the internet. Because the fence is this safety wall and there's this coyote. I was egging this coyote on.
Yep.
Because there's a fence there. Exactly. And people do that on the internet because the fence of the internet is there to protect you from the actual results, the repercussions. That if someone was there, you wouldn't be saying those things to them.
Yeah, that's true.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
When have you just like...
When I've never been in the, like, maybe a handful in my life where there has been two people just, like, shouting politics at each other.
Never,
man.
People don't do that.
No.
If you're at a party and someone disagrees, they're just like, well, I don't feel like dealing with that. So they walk away from it. Like, I don't want to deal with that, dude.
And then you see the paragraphs and the paragraphs and the paragraphs and the paragraphs.
Because someone
links.
minored in political science 7 years ago. You know, there's just
that's honestly, that's even better than the shit I've seen. I told Julia, I'm not going to listen to politics unless the person majored in political science. That's it.
That person better have at least a master's degree, too.
Something. Fuck.
They better be up there.
Yeah.
Because, it's nonsensical.
It's crazy, man.
Larry, tell a story.
I have to pee again.
I know I have to pee, too. All right.
You want to cross streams?
How bad do you have to pee?
Like an 8.
I haven't gone yet. This isn't fair.
Well, I've had one more beer.
All right. That's true. You go pee first. I'll keep talking.
Okay.
You come back. You tell a story. I'll go pee. All right, you go 1st. I'll keep drinking. I'll wait for him. I'm trying to think of a good Larry story. Oh, man, there's so many of them. Ooh. So Larry and I and our friends do this thing where we antique each other. I mean, we haven't done it in a while because we're adults now. But it's when you throw a flower at someone's face when they're not paying attention. And I used to, fall asleep a lot because I had bad sleeping habits when I was younger. And my friends would antique me when I was sleeping, which is kind of the worst way to wake up. And Larry, my friends and Larry once antiqued me at their house. And Larry was the culprit. While I was sleeping, I was taking a nap, and it kind of sucked. And I was like, I need to get him back real good. So one day at his house, he was home alone. And I went in while he was taking a shower, which is not when you want to get antiqued because the flour and the water cake together. So I went in while he was taking a shower. I took a bunch of flour. I leaned over the shower curtain. I just whipped it at his face. And he was stuck there with a bunch of caked up flour and water on his face. And I believe we turned the water off on him, the water main, in his house. So he couldn't wash it off his face. So he's stuck there in the shower naked, soaking wet with just caked flour all over his face, screaming because I think it got in his eye. And it was one of the best revenges I've ever had. And it's something I've done to Larry a lot when he's here. I'll turn off the water or I'll turn off the lights on him while he's taking a shower. And he'll just be like, guys, come on, guys. This ain't cool, man.
Talking about scaring me,
you
dude?
keep going about scaring you. You keep talking about getting scared. I'm going to
I don't even know what to talk about, dude.
Talk about how you're scared about stuff.
Huh?
You're scared.
I'm scared of the dark, but that's because my childhood house was haunted when I was growing up. There was an old lady who passed away in my house, and she passed away in the 80s, and my parents bought it in the 90s, and dude, we heard people walking around, things falling. It was weird. So I don't like the dark still to this day, and these guys think it's funny to shut the lights off on me, but I don't know. What to talk about, though? What to talk about? I hope you guys are all enjoying, I keep telling Ben that this could be like an hour and 10-minute thing if it's written out question-wise and stuff, but he wants to do a free-for-all, so I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know that the guests before me have been very accomplished, so I hope that I'm able to entertain you at least. If not, if the other people can inform you, I hope that I can at least entertain you. That's my motto in life. Always try to get people to have a good time, but oh man. So I know Ben wanted to talk to me about the history of hot rodding. Is it how he thought of me for this podcast? So I could probably talk about that when he comes back, maybe, but I've got a lot of useless information in cars and hot rodding and skateboarding. Not good in any of those subjects, but I do know a lot about the history of all three, so he hasn't asked me about them. I think he wanted to talk about the stories more.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm hanging out.
What'd I miss? Tell me what you told the people.
I didn't tell him nothing. I didn't tell them nothing.
I didn't tell them nothing.
I didn't tell them nothing.
Sounds like a double negative to me.
You'll have to look back
on
the footage.
Told them something.
You'll have to watch your own podcast. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm scared what just happened in the last 4 minutes. Do not get this, man. I only had 2 beers. You had 3, huh? Oh, here. Wait. The night is young.
The night is very young.
Dude, Larry, you're killing it. I mean, your beers are heavier or lighter than mine. I think
that's what I'm saying. I like the light beers.
These I don't know. What these are goose. These are good though. So these are. Oh my god, this explains everything. These are 6.5% alcohol.
Yeah.
What's a High Life, like 4?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Let's see. Let's look it up.
But I never.
Miller High Life.
What, you can look at yours and I can't.
4.6. So these are 2% more. So I've had 13, and those 3 are
Is that how
about
that
13.
works?
So these are 13% together.
No,
and
you can't just add it like that,
well,
dude.
no, I'm saying 6.5 and 6.5. That's 13.
No, it'll still be 6.5.
No, I'm saying like I've accumulated like that much.
I don't think that's how that works.
You don't think that's how it works?
No.
I don't know how it works.
No, it's not. That's not how that works.
Okay.
I think you'd have to add the liquid and then do the percentage of that liquid.
I'm going to go on a whim and say that
That's not 13%.
I've
Alcohol, though.
accumulated 13% of alcohol.
No.
And
no,
you,
that's not how that works.
I think it is.
No.
I think it is because it's the same amount of
No,
liquid.
if you drink, if you drink 3 shots of liquor that's 80% alcohol, you don't have.
No, it drops though, because that's 1.5 ounces. This is 12. So it's actually relative. A beer, a shot of alcohol, and a glass of wine, 6 ounces of wine, 1.5 ounces of alcohol.
Yeah.
And one thing of beer is the same.
Yeah. It is. But
This is
that doesn't mean you had 13% alcohol.
No, it doesn't mean a 13% alcohol. It means together.
No.
Together,
Together, it's going to be 6.5 though still.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No,
because
it's
the
not.
liquid goes up.
No. Your 3 beers is equivalent to about these 2 beers because they're 4.5.
Yeah, no, I get that part.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But it won't be 13%.
Okay.
That's just made up.
Okay.
That's crazy bonkers.
All right. Then I don't know how. Then if you were to think that, then
So-
how are these the same?
What you would do is you would add those 2 ounces together and take 6.5% of that still, right? And then you would take this liquid and add that together and then take the 4.8% of that. That would equal the same.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't drink enough to know. It doesn't matter. I just know these are stronger,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
And that would be the same, right? It'd be the same as me drinking the 3.
I think those 3 is about the same as these 2.
Yeah.
So we're
absolutely.
about in the same spot.
I had the 1 beer earlier. I got drunk. The black one. It's just dark as night beer.
Was it up? What are those called?
It was a
Not
nitro.
a Pilsner. Is that what they're called? The ones that are really dark.
I think it's a lager.
No. A draft.
Pilsner's lighter.
So a draft is really dark, and then there's another one beyond it that's like even darker. Not a Pilsner. Oh shoot.
A Guinness is a lager, isn't it?
No, Guinness is a stout.
Stout.
So stouts are.
Stout's what I
This
had.
mic's getting in the way of my face recognition. Let me look up darkest beer.
That's not what I had. I didn't have the darkest beer ever, but I had a fucking. It was a place from Chicago though.
Stouts. So stouts are just. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think stouts are just the darkest. There's just different types of stouts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like stouts. I just don't have them a lot. You're not meant to drink like a bunch of them in one night. I don't think at least. What'd you find there?
Marijuana.
Don't put it on the glass. Don't you put it on the.
Take it back, dude. Who was smoking weed here? Who'd you have last?
People smoke weed. That's not weed.
It's weed.
That's a crumb.
It's marijuana crumb.
It's not weed, dude.
Look at it.
Brown. It's not even
Smell it.
green. Dude, that's not weed.
That's marijuana.
That's not weed.
I know.
Stop putting your fingers on the.
I'm young. I'm a cool mom. I know what weed is. I
Let's
freak
talk
people
about-
out. I freak people out when I tell them I don't smoke weed.
You smoke sometimes. You're probably smoking tonight. You are.
Dude,
Okay.
what? No, I smoke like once a year,
That,
maybe.
when we did mushrooms, you smoked that weekend.
Yeah, but that was like boys' weekend. dude.
yeah.
That wasn't
it's
like a
boys'
regular
night?
weekend.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the first month
freak
I
people
caught you
out, though.
smoking weed. You and Charlie.
yeah. Do you want me to tell that story?
Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that story
Tell
because that
it.
was the first time I ever smoked, really.
Yeah.
And we got caught by you, and you were upset. So Ben was like very straight edge when he was like a teenager, which was cool, was good. It kept us honestly probably on the right path because we were just crazy. We didn't give a shit. So, and I'll tell you how much we didn't give a shit that night. So it was spring break. Oh wait,
Yeah.
I remember that because people kept screaming, "Spring break! Oh wait, spring break!
It
Oh wait!"
has a ring to it.
Yeah, it had a ring to it.
Yeah.
And then so I would have been like a sophomore maybe.
Yeah, you were 16.
So this Cholo guy comes up to me And he's got the slick back hair, right? Mm-hmm. And the shorts and the long tube socks and a fucking everything. He's cholo out. And he comes up to me in the gym locker room and goes, Larry, you want to buy some weed? I never bought no weed before in my life, right? Mm-hmm. And I probably have only bought weed like 2 times after that. I've only bought weed like 3 times in my life. Ever. Maybe even twice. So I go, yeah, man, I want to buy some weed. Mm-hmm. He goes, what do you want? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. And so I bought a gram for $20, right? So that's regular.
About right, yeah.
Right. So I go and I'm like, Charlie, I got weed. Let's smoke this shit. I don't know what to do. I don't know what whatever. So we got this weed. We're going to your house. There's a party. That was always the place.
You're going here.
Here. And when we were 15, 16 years old, we were pretty much unsupervised back there.
Unhinged, unsupervised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a cabin.
I was the only supervision.
Yeah. It was your own house.
I tried.
I'd be scared if my parents were inside. I'd be scared.
I tried.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're walking here. We're walking, and Charlie's like, we got to find something to smoke this out of because it's like you either have to have like a bowl or a joint or something to smoke out. All right? So we're walking, and he goes up to this apartment building. He walks inside, and it's like a condo. So there's no like buzzer to get in. You just walk in. And he walks in, and he looks at this couple, and I look at them. What the fuck? I didn't know Charlie didn't know them. So I'm in there. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, hey, guys. And he's like, hey. Charlie goes down to the basement and steals their light bulb out of their ceiling and walks out. And he's like, all right, we're good. I was like, what? I thought he knew the people. And we walked out, and he just stole their light bulb out of their wall, dude, out of the ceiling, out of the socket. Dude, he's like, if I'm 16, he's 15, and we're stealing light bulbs out of right in front of people's faces. Mm-hmm. So I think this is the time you're talking about, right? When we're smoking on a light bulb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Charlie, for some reason, knew how to do all this shit at like 15. I had no idea what he was doing. He took the light bulb, and he like unscrewed the screw part, and I didn't know that part came off. Mm-hmm. And he put like salt water in it, cleared it out, and made it clear instead of like with the white paint in there. And then he put the weed in there, and then he put the screw on, and he put a pen in there on the top. So you burn the shit on the bottom, and then you smoke it through the tube. And that's how we got high that night. And the first time, getting high, that was how we did it. And
weird way for the first time.
Very, very weird. Like very weird. Involved and very like
unconventional for the first time.
Unconventional, yeah. Unconventional. And where the hell did Charlie learn how to do this shit?
At 15, I don't know.
No, yeah. Charlie, Charmander, he'd be interesting. He'd be an interesting case study.
Oh yeah, he'll be on soon. He's gonna come on in May. Yeah, I guess that's not soon, but 2 months. Mm-hmm. That's really. I remember catching you guys. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know anything about weed. I just was told it was bad,
Yeah.
And I was like, because you guys were so young to me.
You just broke it.
You guys were 15. I broke it, right?
Yeah.
I broke a lot of stuff, didn't I?
Broke it.
I was very strict.
If you didn't like it, you broke it. Yeah.
I was strict because I was concerned. I cared about you.
Yeah,
guys.
I know. Yeah.
You guys are children. Like when you're 18 and someone's 15, you feel like
it was fun that night though because we got high and then Mike Holkinson was having a party down two doors down. And you were having a party here, so we were like just
that happened a lot.
Bop. Yeah.
Remember those days?
Yeah, that was fun.
There was days
that was fun for me.
There was days when there'd be a party at their house down the street, 3 houses down. Party at the DZ, the cabin in the back, the fort in the back. My brother is having a party in the garage.
Yeah,
and my sister's inside just with a stick up her butt, right?
Yeah.
And
she probably should have, though.
Partied?
No. Had the stick up her ass. Because, dude, me, as like, what? She was probably like, what, 28?
She's 23. She was 5 years older
at
than
the
me.
time?
Yeah.
Trying to teach, do all this shit, and we're running around like little boys.
Yeah, but it was me, though. You know I was responsible.
Yeah, but...
That's why we got away with it, because I was on top. I was sober, and I was present, I was there,
She knew, though. She was pissed.
No.
I don't blame her.
No. She couldn't be cool. My brother and I,
she's going to listen to this.
I don't care if she listens to this. She knows. She knows I hung just fine.
Nicole, you should have said yes to my proposals.
Larry asked my sister to marry him.
Yeah.
Times.
Every day for like a year.
You were so much younger. You're like 8 years younger.
You're such a boy. I said, I'm going to grow up to be a man. No.
I'm glad you chose a different woman.
Yeah, me too. No,
things worked out okay in the end.
Nicole, though, She missed her calling.
Larry.
Because what now? She dates the guy who hoses off the gorilla, right? That's what you said?
Well, we don't got to talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, he hoses the gorillas off.
Larry, you a little drunk over there?
I don't know. I
You-
don't know.
you-
I'm always
you started
in this.
early.
I'm always in
You
this.
started at noon.
Yeah. I'm always in this state.
That one time, what was it? It was within the last year. You're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You decide not to leave. And then you decide to leave my house and go home, but you get hit with like a blizzard.
Oh, yeah.
And you forgot your phone here?
I don't know.
Or your wallet?
I have no idea. No idea.
I don't know where we are.
I feel like we're at this is like the first nighttime podcast, so there's like, it's uncharted territory.
No, I've had a nighttime one.
Who?
RJ Collins was at night.
RJ Collins.
On a Friday.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Is
You
he
should
cool?
check that one. It was so good.
Is it a boy?
RJ, yeah. RJ Collins. Remember he played DZ Fest last year?
No.
He did he played in the evening on like Sunday night.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a great singer. He was the one that was
If
runner
I
up
saw
on The
his-
Voice. He was on The Voice.
Oh, yeah, I do remember him.
Great singer.
Yeah, yeah,
More like
yeah.
like an R&B singer.
Clean vocals.
Such a good
Yeah.
singer.
I
He taught me
remember.
a lot about singing.
RJ, if you're listening to this, how you doing?
He's doing well.
I just wonder who's going to actually listen to this.
I don't know. I don't know who listens to anything.
I'm scared.
Why?
I don't know.
What's your biggest fear?
Mine in
Yeah.
life?
Yeah.
Oh. Charlie said it to me last weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend I was here. He said, "You're a very anxious person, but you have a good poker face." And he said it right. I'm scared most of my days.
I could see that.
Yeah.
You kind of are though.
Yeah.
Like do you believe in ghosts, or is that a facade?
No, it's a real thing. It's a real fucking thing.
Like you've been the biggest ghost believer I know of. Like you've always been very weary of things.
I feel vibes, dude.
Do you really though?
Yeah.
Okay.
My house, my childhood home was haunted as fuck.
Why?
Still is. I don't know.
Why do you say that?
Well, like this is a story I told when you were gone. My childhood home, this lady died in like the 80s, and my parents bought it in the 90s. She died in the house. And so
But how did she pass away?
I have like old age or
That's
something.
not
I have no
scary.
idea. Yeah, it's not scary at all. But we would hear people walking around, like slamming doors and like weird shit that like no like I don't know. It was just like not scary, but it was just weird. Like weird enough for me to be like, like weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't scary ever, like, I don't know. But there was that one time that I remember I told you. I was laying in bed, and the way my bed was like facing the door, and there was like a black figure there, and it just jumped on me. I told Uncle Steve this, and he said the same shit happened in this house. So I don't know.
Yeah, he told me
Yeah.
that story. It happened in my parents' old room, Chuck's room now.
Yeah.
And he told me when I was a kid that he was like laying in bed and a black figure like went on top of him
Yeah.
and like pulled the blanket
touched
off
him and shit,
Yeah,
yeah.
touched him. Yeah.
So this thing just basically, I like woke up, like I was like, my arms were like this, and my legs were crossed, like it was like super like weird, like I don't know, and I couldn't breathe, and I like woke up and
How
I don't
old
know.
were you?
This was like when I was older, dude. This was like, I was probably like 19 or 20. I was out of the house, I think already. I was just visiting home. Yeah. Just a regular night,
nothing
too.
like that has ever happened again?
No.
No?
No. And then I actually said that, and my sister experienced the whole thing. Same thing. And my dad experienced the same thing. Yeah. So I don't know.
What is it? What is that?
I don't know.
Like when I
Is it
hear
fucking
those
genetic or
stories,
something?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm like very much.
I'm a logical. I don't know. But it's just like something that's like too creepy to me. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't
Do you
know.
think it's a psychological thing? Like you tell the story, so therefore you kind of like impose that on your experience from.
I think
previous
it's
people?
weird that I didn't tell them and they said the same
They had the same
thing.
story.
Yeah, that was weird to me. But I don't know.
That is weird.
Nowadays though, I don't even really think of ghosts or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No issues like that where at your house, because your house is
No.
what,
I get
70
good-
years old.
I get good vibes there because the lady I feel like was so good and nice.
The person who had it before you.
Yeah.
Your house has got
I read
good
her.
vibes.
I read her obituary, and she's like, I just read this like last week.
Really?
She married a guy who built that house in 59, and he died in 74. She remarried in the 80s, and he died in like 97. She just kept living there.
Just keep dying, and she just keeps going.
She was like a big, she was like a piano player, loved music, traveled the world, loved architecture, which is why the house is cool as shit there.
The house is cool.
And, she just was like that type of person, artistic, caring type, I guess.
Like
from
you.
The obituary.
Like you.
It maybe attracts the type of people.
How many people come into your funeral, Larry?
I told Julie I want my funeral to be a big estate sale where everyone's dickering prices. I'm just got all my shit laid out, I'm laid out.
What do I get?
You gotta buy the shit, right?
What?
Yeah.
All these years?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't
That's
do
the
that to
fun
you.
part. It's just gonna be our friends bidding on shit.
What?
Yeah.
That's like the worst.
What?
That's how people get torn apart.
No.
Money and objects. Like Mrs. Carter's dude, my neighbor.
You're dumb for not going over there and getting some shit, though.
When she was alive.
Yeah.
So I knew her my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
right? She passed away in May. And there was not good closure because of COVID. I wasn't able to go to a wake or funeral or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I took care of her yard my whole life, and I helped her out a lot. And she'd always tell me, like, one day soon you can come through and, like, take whatever you like.
Yeah.
So the last
She has
couple
so
weeks,
much stuff.
she's got some good stuff.
I had no idea. I
mean,
Like, she
I
has
knew.
such a tidy house. Like, where's everything at? Like, where's the shit at?
Well, with older
It's a
folks
tiny
of the
house.
silent generation,
Yeah.
they had, by the time they were of our age,
Mm-hmm.
was the early 50s.
Yeah.
So, like,
Prime time,
1950
dude.
1970,
That's when that shit was made well.
they bought all that stuff, and then
And it lasted.
the internet didn't exist. So, like, once they were hit 1970, they were probably, like, in their late 30s, 40s, and they had kids. They stop paying attention in the world. They don't buy new stuff. They just keep going, and then they become older, and they're like, "Well, I already have everything I need," and they're not connected to Facebook Marketplace and eBay and just buying and Amazon. So they're stuck in that. So she had a lot of good stuff, and she had always told me, like, one day soon you should come through and, like, you can take a couple things. She watched me when I was a kid, and then that never happened because COVID and her health declined, and then she passed away. And then the last couple weeks of people doing the estate sale, I just watch it. I'm just like, it's weird knowing that everyone's just picking apart her house. And I was like, I grew up, in that house.
It's funny because I have a similar story with Fran,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I helped her for years, since I was 8. I wanted to buy my first bike, like I wanted to build a lowrider bike because that was like cool back then. And
this is your neighborhood friend, right? Or neighborhood lady that lived there.
It was my
took
neighbor.
Care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cut her grass, but she her house caught on fire, and she was pretty able. Like, she was still doing things, and I was still helping her out when I came home from college and things. And she, she took care of me. When I moved away to college, she bought me, like, silverware and shit.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, she was, like, super, like, I don't know.
Sweet.
Yeah. Like, it was, like, we were close. And her garage caught on fire, which caught her house. It was connected, and caught her house on fire. And her daughter put her in a tiny little apartment, like, right down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, she was like, well, I have insurance. Like, I can have my house, like, fixed, and I can move back in it. And the daughter was like, no. That's it. Like, we're going to sell it or tear it down or whatever. Like, it's not going to be that. And as soon as she found that out, she was like, done. Didn't eat, nothing.
No reason to live.
No reason to live. And then she passed away, and the daughter didn't give her, like, funeral or wake. Nothing.
What?
Yeah. It was crazy.
Why?
It was crazy. Like, it was like she was like a regular person, and then, like, within 6 months, she was, like, gone.
Just erased.
But the thing is, like, the house caught on fire.
How?
And the firefighter said it was caught on fire, like somebody set it on fire. And her house insurance stuff that would have paid for it was canceled like 6 months earlier. Tell me how that works, right? Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Why would someone deliberately burn it in the family if they wanted money if the insurance wasn't there? Or did they not know? And they were pissed, so they didn't give her the funeral.
No idea.
Does that make
I have
sense?
no idea. I just know that the insurance was gone so that she couldn't rebuild, and that it seemed like too calculated.
Why would she cancel her insurance out of nowhere?
She didn't. Her kids paid for it.
Why
and,
would
like,
they
took
cancel it though?
Right.
And then set it on fire.
Exactly.
When there's no money to be made.
Fuck, I don't know, man. I have no idea. It was weird.
Isn't that sad? Like, it's very classic. Like, you grew up in an old school neighborhood taking care of the old lady because you were the able young man, right?
Same with you, right?
I did the same. Miss Carter, my neighbor,
Yeah.
took care of her yard. My dad got me started on that. He was a good example. He took care of her yard. And he would never accept her money.
No.
And I would try to not accept her money, but she'd give me Powerades with a paper towel wrapped around it with a rubber band, and she'd slide like $100 in there.
Mrs. Carter was cool as shit,
I'd be
too.
drinking Powerade,
Yeah.
and I would be like, there's money. And I'm like, Mrs. Carter.
Mrs. Carter liked my 66 Dodge fan.
They
The
probably brought
first
it
one.
back.
She came out. She said, I had one of these. Me and my husband bought one of these brand new camper like this.
Really?
Yeah, it could have been the same one. Who knows? Like, how many are those running around the neighborhood?
What a sweetheart. She was from Maine, and she told me she never went to a restaurant before.
What?
She only ate in the house, only stayed home and ate. That's probably why she
Ever
was
in her
so
life?
active until she was 88.
Yeah.
It's probably she was healthy.
Yeah.
Didn't eat
I wonder
processed food.
I wonder what our generation's gonna be like when we grow old.
Dead,
Like, are we gonna
young.
be good?
Stress
Are
from
we gonna be
stress
good?
from Twitter.
Yeah. That ain't stress though.
You can't
Not
have-
compared to what these old people live through, dude.
No.
No way.
No, but the thing is
Fucking
they
wars
found
and shit.
they found a way to like that grounded them, and it put that was such an extreme that everything else is like a joke to them.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a blessing in
like
disguise.
Great Depression,
Yeah.
stock market crash, Great Depression, World War II,
Even Vietnam, dude.
Vietnam.
Yeah. Because
Civil rights
like the old
movement.
guys now are Vietnam guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle's a Vietnam guy. They got stories.
Yeah.
They don't
I have
talk about it.
I have a guy that I call my friend. His name's Butch. My dad's friend. He's cool as shit. But he was talking about crazy shit. Like he got drafted, and then he had to go into the helicopter and be the guy who shot down.
That's what my uncle did.
Yeah.
He told me he was the guy that did that, and then he like got out of it and was doing other work. But
Yeah.
I guess they rotated those guys a lot because of the psychological damage. They weren't there for years just shooting.
Right.
But I've heard from a lot of the guys that have done the helicopter stuff. Like, you don't ask. It's like inappropriate to ask. Like, what would you do? Did you
Yeah.
kill anybody? But they'll say like, I don't.
But
know.
there's a reason they're a little fucked up. You know, you don't want to ask them.
I heard a person.
There's a reason,
I heard
yeah.
some of my family. I won't say who it was.
Yeah.
Say once like, I don't know how many people I've killed, and that has haunted me forever.
Yeah. Imagine what they feel
Imagine
like. Right?
that. I mean, imagine going to bed at night like I don't know how many people I've killed. I know I've never killed anybody, but could you imagine
Yeah.
thinking that?
Yeah. That would be crazy, crazy. When you're 17, 18,
And they would just
19,
call
20.
it shell shock, dude.
Yeah.
PTSD wasn't a thing in 1969.
Yeah.
My dad barely missed it by months. He graduated in high school in May 1973, and I think the war ended like, I'm gonna look it up.
I think it was 75.
I think it was 73.
Maybe. Yeah.
Vietnam War. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure it was 75. You're right. Dang, look at you. How'd you know that?
I'm a history guy. I told you this.
It was, oh my God, this is so sad. The dates of it, ready? November 1st, 1955 to April 30th, 1975. 19 years, 5 months, 4 weeks, and 1 day.
Why did they say that Kennedy would have not have been a Vietnam guy, though, then?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I was watching this movie, and they said, like, Kennedy, if he was, like, alive, he would have just, like, ended the Vietnam thing. But he was in it, right? He could, like, start...
He was within it, but I think America.
Yeah.
I think America entered it in the...
50s.
I think they entered it in the...
Because we were in Korea at that point in 55, dude.
I think Korea ended in 50... I think it was like 51 to 53, right? 54? 50 to 54?
My grandpa was in it.
My grandpa was in the Great War. Or World War II, not the Great War. Great War was the
Okay.
fourth one. He was in World War II. Korean War.
Your grandpa must have been a lot older than my grandpa.
He was
then.
born 1920.
My grandpa was born 29, so...
That makes sense.
Yeah.
29, 25 to 31 would make sense for Korean War 32. Korean War 1950 to 1953. See, my grandfather was too old for that. He would have been 33.
So we just dropped off Korea and went to Vietnam, huh?
Who?
America.
Yeah, no, it went, well, think about it. It went,
I didn't know it was a 55 thing. What the hell were they doing for 10 years before, like, all that
I
shit
don't know how
happened?
much America was involved in it then. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit. Maybe it was like more external and superficial.
I
And
think,
it got
we
heavier-
started doing things in, like, 60, like, 3 or 4.
Yeah, right after Kennedy passed away.
Yeah.
Or like right before he passed away.
I think it was, yeah. Because he passed away in like 62 or
November
something.
22nd, 1963.
63, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to Dallas once, or a couple times, but I went to the spot where he was killed, and I saw the building and the angle, and they have like these X's on the ground showing each shot.
Yeah,
it's so surreal.
It stays there year round.
Yeah, there's just X's in the ground. You look at it, and you're sitting there, and you're just like, this is crazy. And you see the distance, and you're like, yeah, I mean, someone can make that shot, especially someone who's a marksman, someone who's trained.
Yeah,
but then you hear about all the other shots, someone coming out from the build or the.
I don't believe that shit, though.
You don't believe it was?
No.
What do you think it was?
I just think it was Oswald.
No. There's too many. There's other shots. There's multiple shots. Also, the magic bullet. There's a bullet they show that came from him that's just in perfect condition. Bullets they're not in perfect condition.
I guess I have to look more into this.
Look into it.
Yeah, because
they got it off the gurney and they're like, yeah, there's the bullet hit him. It's
and
like,
then someone shot Oswald, too.
They get mushroomed and they get messed up and they fragment when they hit stuff. They're going...
someone shot Oswald
700 and something miles an hour.
While he was going into trial.
Yeah, Jack Ruby.
Mm-hmm. And he was just a fluke. Shouldn't even have been there.
No, that was the mob stuff.
Yeah,
he was a mob guy.
Yeah,
and he died in prison. Who would have thought? It's crazy. That's one of the last things when you're like,
I want to know like if America's gonna actually tell us some shit.
It's too late. They're not gonna say it. The people that were around are dead.
That's why I think they will tell us, right?
No, like it's all dead.
Because nobody will care.
We just know it wasn't just Lee Harvey Oswald by himself doing that.
I think the records are there and they just need to release them.
Maybe.
And we'll know.
I think they're just hoping it goes away.
After
it's been 58 years.
Yeah, but there's so much info now. Like there has to be something.
I know, but not then there wasn't.
Actually, you know what? I want to go down to Memphis again because I went down there for the Elvis thing. Mm-hmm. They're having like a Valentine's thing, Valentine's weekend thing. And me and Julia went down there. It was pretty fucking cool. To see his house.
Oh, Elvis?
Yeah.
Did you go to Sun Records?
We did.
It was cool. I've been there before, right?
Amazing.
Isn't it cool?
The way the walls are just like, you can feel the history, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
We need to go to Muscle Shoals in Mississippi, where Little Richard recorded.
That would be cool.
I think that's it.
All right, so like, I want to go back down to Memphis because they have the whole civil rights museum down there for where
Martin Luther King was shot.
Assassinated in the hotel. I guess they changed that into a museum.
Oh,
so that would be really cool to see.
Yeah,
I want to go back down there for that. Maybe this summer.
I've been there a handful of times, like the barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
Sun Records I went to. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They have that world's largest Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I saw it from outside, but I didn't go in. Did you go in it?
Yes, there's alligators in the water.
Shit.
It's pretty ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's very Memphis. Mm-hmm. I love how... When's the next Van Nationals and where is it?
They just released it, and it's up north, like Michigan, I think. Mm. Yeah.
2021? Next summer?
Yeah.
Is like COVID restrictions? Is it gonna be, it's outside.
No, it won't be anything like that. Because I think last year they canceled it, and then this year they're just gonna do it. They said fuck it, let's just party.
Like, but it's outside, so like,
yeah,
wear masks and just don't touch each other outside.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
It's in that realm of like as long as you're outside and it's sunny and you're like. You park your vans, you don't have to be on each other. You don't have to touch each other. Like, it's fine.
I think it'll be a little bit more invasive than that, but it just is what it is. You go at your own risk.
It's an older group of people,
You
too.
don't have to go to the Van Nationals,
What would you say the average age of people who go to Van Nationals? Like
mid-50s.
Right. So you're a minority.
But then there's like a weird thing. There's like guys my age, and then there's guys that, are younger, and I don't know. It's a full range, but I found that there's a huge group, probably like 26 to like 40. Mm-hmm. That's like me and Charlie. Like, there's a big group of guys that are our age, and then there's like the old group,
the kids,
the original guys,
the kids, of the old group, right, the gap. That's funny. Mm-hmm. Well, you gonna raise your kids like that, like vans and cars and stuff, bringing them into those things?
Yeah. Because that's all I know.
You know more than that.
Yeah, but dude, my day-to-day just revolves around like cars and stuff, like research.
And you're trying to hot rod your 27. Right. That's your main hot rod focus.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on what hot rod means? What it is? Maybe like where that comes from? Why that is?
Yeah, that's all. That's a lot, but
It's a lot.
so like my 27 will. So a lot of people take hot rods and they like pick a specific era to build their hot rod in.
Mm-hmm.
So mine will be like late 50s to early 60s hot rod.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys will like to do post-war hot rods, and that's like 40s, and some people like to do 70s stuff, but like hot rodding started like after World War II. And like a lot of the like soldiers coming back from World War II like learned how to like work on like military vehicles and aircraft and stuff. They learned about how like to be mechanics basically. Then they came home and they like had these like early Fords just sitting around, so they started like tinkering like how to make them more aerodynamic and more like just quick and stuff like that. So that's how that started. But how hot rodding was born.
So hot rodding started in late 40s.
Early, yeah, like mid 40s. Yeah. Yeah, like 44, 45.
What does that mean exactly? Just tuning up and altering the engines?
Yeah, so like these teenagers came back from war or early 20s, and then like there was so many Model A's made, those like record Model A's made, 32s and stuff like that. So they were just like laying in junkyards, you know. They were like only like 20 to 10 years old, like, you know.
Yeah, not in bad shape yet.
Not in bad shape yet, but they were also like old. They were affordable. You can pick them up for $5. So they're like building up the engines or like swapping out the newest engines into these old cars, making them like taking the fenders off, chopping the tops to make them lower, and just like making them quicker in that sense, you know, because they already
for racing.
For just going faster, yeah, and racing each other. But like in the 50s, they started getting more into like the design of like how the things were put together in an artistic way.
Having the cover off and the engine exposed.
Yeah,
like that.
Like that's the ornament of the car is the motor, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
When did they start doing like the design, like the flames and the stripes and stuff? Is that 60s?
50s.
50s?
Yeah. The 50s guys were more of like, the 40s guys had built up like the race part, you know, and then the 50s guys like kind of like were the guys who were like gonna make it like cool to look at, you know. The 50s guys were taking like Cadillac motors out of, you know, 56 or 57 Cadillac and putting it into these old Model A's.
What Model A is after Model T?
Yeah. Yeah, so Model T was like the first. They were like 19, I don't even know.
16?
12 or something, right, to like 27. And then the Model A came out in 28 and went to 31. And then the 32 Ford is its own thing. That's why it's like coveted. The Deuce Coupe 32. And then 34, you know, and went on from after that. But
And you got a 27, so you got the last year of Model T.
Yeah.
You have a Model T. What's it feel like?
It feels good, dude.
What do you think? Who was in that?
I know. When we were booming, we were freaking out a little bit, me and you.
When you were on mushrooms?
Yeah, we were looking at it. We're like, oh my God, there's so much history on this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is. I mean, there really is.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So where'd you get that from again? The 1927 Model T?
I found it while I was on my honeymoon in Kansas.
Wait. Okay, yeah, you did the Route 66 for you. Yeah.
I gotta pee again. You're gonna keep feeding me these. I keep drinking them and pissing them. Drinking them and pissing them.
Go pee.
How long you want to keep going on this, Bo, man?
We're almost done. 10, 15 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, I'll keep speaking for you.
All right.
So, yeah, Larry's one of my only friends that's been like a massive, massive car guy. Like he's always informing me about cars. He's got a vast car knowledge. His dad, who he's named after Larry, is the biggest car guy I know. And like my whole life, like my family and friends, we've always had like everyday normal cars relative to the years and whatnot. And he always had vintage cars from the 60s, the 50s, like we said earlier. Hey, Bo, you're not supposed to be in the studio. This is Bo's dog. Can you see him? Kind of see his tail. Bo, go. Get out of here. Larry, you didn't close the door. Bo had to hear us, and he had to come in. Yeah, so Larry, his dad always had awesome vintage cars, and Larry's always into them. And he was my first exposure to, like, just rare cars. Like we said, the 57 Chevy, the 1967 Nova, the 66 Dodge, the 69 Connelline. Just a bunch of old cars, very cool stuff. And I've been very fortunate to drive in some of these cars, and even like Larry's friends and his dad who have friends who have old cars. Like one time, they let me drive their 1963 Thunderbird, this like silver blue, just like metallic blue 1963 Thunderbird. I got to drive once around the block. And it's just amazing. I mean, obviously cars are better now and safer, but it's just so cool. It's a cool thing. I don't know enough about it. I'm not an expert, but I admire it, and I think it's quite fascinating, and I think they look great and whatnot, but I don't know. I would love to have a vintage car one day. I don't know enough about them. It's not my forte. Mechanics is not my forte, you know. I'm more of a guitar musician, guitar amps. I like vintage stuff. When it comes, can you close that fully?
Yeah.
Fully. What were you saying?
I walked in on Brian going to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah? Not the first time, huh?
Won't be the last.
You left the door open. Bo just had to come in and check it out. He just came in
So
all
was
hot.
Brian. He was checking it out because Brian was peeking.
Oh, okay. Was he? I didn't even know.
Yeah, he was baking.
That's funny.
Bacon.
Yeah, no, you're on your fifth beer there, my friend.
The beer's cold, so I'm cold. Yeah.
You're really adamant about ending this thing. You just...
Yeah.
Why?
It needs to end.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you want to end it?
Yeah, let's top it off. I told these guys I won't, the previous when you were going to the bathroom, I said, the previous guys maybe were informative, but at least maybe I could be entertaining.
You are though.
Yeah.
You have a lot of experience. I mean, between art, I wanted to go further with your education because with like what you were teaching and how like your intent going into it and how you left it. And now you're kind of dabbling a little bit. And what you said earlier was it's very important. It's something I talk about a lot, being in education.
Yeah.
How important like education is and the home, it's unfortunate. And you got to experience that and see it, You got to see it. He had like here where you lived here and you taught at the school we went to, our junior high.
Yeah.
And then you went to a different school district in the same state and you got to see it from a different perspective.
And I kind of took it hard on myself too because I wasn't the guy that like when I was in college, I don't know if I told you this, there was a state mandatory test that you have to take, the EdTPA, and I got the highest score in all of the class that we had. Just 15 people or whatever, but I got the highest one. And like I scored high on like being able to connect with kids and stuff. And I like at this job, I think that kids kind of connect more with people that are, maybe their same sex or race or whatever, like it wasn't happening for some reason. It just wasn't. I wasn't the right fit for that thing, and that was like eating me up a little bit. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I just noticed that, you kind of connect with people who are like you. So I was kind of like, there was a way to do it, but I just wasn't that guy,
So
I don't know.
Is it something you want to keep doing? Or something
I just have to find the right place.
You want to be an art teacher, you got to find the right spot.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and just like, waste both of our times. I want the best for the kids. Yeah.
But you want to be your best person for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so hard. Education's so hard. Like online right now, like I'm sure Jules is...
We're half days.
She's half days now.
Yeah. I work at her school now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I sub.
What's it like?
It's cool.
Yeah?
Dude, I told Julia, like, these kids are fucking robots. Like, what is this? Like, all the lessons are on the computer. The teachers can talk to them. So I'm subbing, and I'm just making sure they're not, like, on video games and shit.
Yeah.
And then they close the computer, and then they just sit there like this. Be 10, 15 minutes left in class. They're just sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with these kids? Like, it's, like, totally different from what I was coming from. Like, totally different.
Different school district, different.
Rural. There's, like, 8 kids in the class and shit.
Just white kids?
Yeah. And, there's, like...
Bunch of different kids?
So if there's 8 white kids, maybe there's, like, 1 black kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rural Illinois.
Yeah, what the hell are you going to get?
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
It's just different.
Yeah. But Julia did say, like, their parents know the teachers who work at the school, and their teachers talk to their parents, and they're their friends. And
small community.
all that shit, yeah, it makes a big difference.
How far away is that?
It's like, I would say like probably 25 minutes east from my house. Out of
the
Champaign.
red flashing lights, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Everyone's mad about those.
They're
Everyone's mad about-
obnoxious, dude.
They are, dude. Can you imagine being a
we're
tiny
20
little house?
miles away. I can't imagine being there.
And if you're living somewhere where there's no lights at all, and then you just have a fucking...
How big are those? How many are there? Like hundreds?
Yeah, and each
Windmills we're talking about, by the way.
Yeah.
We didn't specify at all.
No.
We're just going...
and each blade is like, I think they said 50 yards. Yeah.
What? This is your 50 yards?
Yeah.
Each blade is 50. 150 feet.
Yeah.
A blade. Dude, that's so big. One of those things fall off. Scary.
Dude, we would used to walk out to one in Bloomington. We would go when we were
Underneath it.
Me, Jake, and Eddie would go out there, and that's when I felt the actual like.
You feel it, the wind.
And it's always like making like it's always like huffing at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge, and you feel that energy when you're underneath that, something like that, dude. And if you get like 100 of them in a field, and then you put a house next to it, oh my god.
The wind movement.
Those poor bastards who moved out to rural.
Did they?
Broad
Did
lands.
their taxes go
It's
down?
called broad lands.
Broad lands.
Yeah, because of the literal broad lands of it.
Yeah.
There's just nothing out there.
I wonder if like their taxes went down.
Well, Julia gets like, I think she said the school gets like $200,000 a year, school year, on this shit. So I would imagine that they have something.
Tax breaks.
Yeah, something.
I mean, it's good.
Still
It's good
pissed
for the
about it, though.
energy, but the lights. So what are the lights for? Why are the red lights? Is there an airport nearby?
Any airplane.
Why would
Can
an airplane
hit
be
it.
flying that low? Like,
I don't
why are
know.
they flying like 200 feet above the ground?
I don't know. Well, they have like private air jets and shit.
Oh,
out
there's
there.
There's an airport nearby.
There's an airport by me, but I don't think that's what that is. I think that's like a lot of people have planes out there. Like a lot of farmers have planes.
Oh, really? They
Yeah.
just fly off their land?
Well, they do the crops and shit. They spray them.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a plane that flies like, you know, my big window in my living room, and I see it coming straight into my window every spring, whoom, and every fall. Whoom.
Dude, he's dropping chemicals on you, dude. He's
Yeah.
trying to get you.
Yep. So there's those guys. Those guys, I think people up here, especially me, before I moved down there, really underestimated those guys down there.
What do you mean, those guys? What are you talking about?
Like farmers and stuff. They're so, like, they're just, a lot of them are just so, I don't know, they're like educated in so many things.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like brushed it.
That's a hard
Like,
job.
well, you don't never have to think about it
Yeah.
growing up here.
It's
you know?
far
like
removed
whatever.
from
Yeah.
us. But
Yeah.
no, it's dude, being a farmer is insane.
Well, dude, it's not even like that insane anymore. Like they have tractors that they get in, and it has GPS, and it does itself.
Programmed, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it used to be really hard. I don't know. I mean, there's still other stuff they have to do.
Yeah.
It's not
Oh
just
yeah.
that.
I'm not. It's long hours, but it's still like advanced, more advanced than I thought there was gonna be a guy on a fucking John Deere, like just doing.
A scythe, right?
No, dude, we're providing corn for the rest of the world, so these guys are like on a next level. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have
Is that what it's mostly by you? Is it corn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Not beans.
yeah, beans.
Is it beans?
Yeah. Soybeans.
Soybeans. That's
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're providing it for the world, really.
Don't say we. You ain't doing nothing.
Illinois.
You're out there with
Illinois.
you're out the BB gun shooting cans
Yeah, I am.
with pork chop.
But dude, if you think about the way the government thinks about the Midwest and like the output, really just it has a huge effect on the whole entire country.
Oh my
and the
God,
world
yeah.
and everything.
The
yeah.
Midwest is notorious for farming.
They have to buy a certain seed. It's kind of like a It's a big business. It's a huge business. Yeah.
It's
I didn't even think of it. I didn't even know.
I'm
you know?
sure it provides things for the whole country and the world.
Yeah.
I mean, the Midwest, we're talking farming like Wisconsin, Ohio, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky.
And here I'm thinking of this like it's just a good old boy.
Missouri.
But dude, it's way bigger than that.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's
It's
huge.
so. You've gone on road trips. You drive 500 miles in any direction is just farmland.
Yeah.
As far as I can see, in every direction.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what the Midwest is notorious for.
I love
just
it.
good old nice Midwest people because it's just farm and
Honestly,
flat
I used
land.
to say I'm like getting the fuck out of here, but now as I get older, I'm just like, dude, where I'm at now is like, it's peaceful for me.
It's very peaceful.
Peaceful. It's like I can like close the laptop and shut the phone off and just look and stare
And just be in peace.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
It's quiet.
I love it.
You could see stars.
The stars, dude. I stared at the stars last night for like an hour. I swear to God.
You
Julia's
import-
like,
you
are you
import-
gonna come in?
Honey,
Are you gonna come in?
please.
Shut up! I'm looking at the stars.
Were you drinking beer?
And no, I wasn't.
No.
No, I just got out of my van and I was just looking at the stars. I loved it.
It's
I
beautiful.
stood out there for an hour.
It was nice. We were there, and it was like just so happened to be like the brightest moon ever.
Yeah,
And we could, like, see each
I
other?
thought we were just stoned, but it turned out to be a super moon.
It was a super
And
moon.
we could see each other's shadows in the pitch black night.
see everything.
There's no streetlights.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I said, Ben, can you see my shirt? And we're like 50 feet away, and he's reading my shirt and everything. And it was like in the middle of the night.
Really bright.
Yeah, it was super bright.
Weird,
Like
and-
brighter than like if you walked out in a city, or just as bright. Yeah.
We didn't know about the supermoon. I didn't.
No.
Like, it just so happens too that's a really not a lot of light pollution or air
No,
pollution.
yeah,
so
there's
like with the
nothing.
supermoon in a pitch black
Dude,
cornfields,
crazy.
it's like
Dude, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I do.
I could not believe it.
I do.
That was nuts.
That was the night a certain zone just came out and whipped a certain something at the street.
She tried. Yeah. Yeah. Julia's normally the one that keeps me in check. And that night I said, Julia, don't break that bottle. Ellie, if you're going to break it, just break it in our backyard. Nobody will know. I don't care. I want to break it in the street. No, don't break it in the street. We're going to be the ones that drive
That's
on
us
it.
who drive on the street.
Yeah, we're the only ones who use this fucking street. I'm going to get a flat.
For those listening, a certain someone tried breaking a beer bottle in the middle of the street for no reason. It was hysterical.
And failed. The bottle just went
God.
donk, 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 donk.
You got any more stories there?
I've got stories for days, Benji, but we should just end this.
Well, you'll be back on this summer.
That would be cool. I would come back on.
And tell more stories. 'Cause
Yeah.
You do have more stories. You have more stories than anybody I know.
Dude.
You're a story person.
Yeah, I forgot about every single story that you brought up to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like but if I sat down and I knew that you want to do stories, I'd find out some good
They're just
ones.
so unique and hilarious.
Oh.
And I was so present for them that they were just, I've heard a lot of stories and yours just pop because they're just so obnoxious. They're just like, bam.
The burning of the armpits, the Polish guy.
Just
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming, Lair.
I appreciate it, Banjo.
That's been a good time.
Yeah.
Thanks for...
This was your bedroom when you were a kid.
No. This was my grandfather's study.
Yeah.
And then this was where we kept our clothes when we were kids. Then it was my brother's room.
Oh.
And then it was Ashley's room, then Eddie's room. And
I thought you lived in here.
no, my room's always been the one upstairs.
Always.
Yeah. But I mean, I grew up in this room.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. It's
Yeah.
kind of surreal.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
It's cool. Yeah, I think your grandfather would be proud.
You think so?
Minus all the
So he'd be proud of writing sermons right there while we drink
Yeah.
beer and talk about nonsense.
I don't know. It's hard. That generation was totally different, right?
He was born 121 or 101 years ago. So it's
Yeah.
a different time.
Totally different. But if he was born and he was our age, he'd be cool with it.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Lair.
I love you, Banjo.
I love you too, Lair.
Bending-
Thank you for bringing your wife's collages and
Yeah.
artwork.
Sorry it was so small.
Julia, was it 392? 92.3? I think it's 392. Instagram. We're so bad at this.
Bending brains.
Bending brains. I got pins and stickers
With
for you.
Bend our grellos.
All right, Larry. We're gonna have a good rest of our evening.
We are.
All right.
Friday night.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
You're my best friend ever.
Things
You're-
are good.
You're not my best friend ever.
Oh my God.
You're one of my best friends.
Yeah.
We got a lot of best friends.
We have so many.
Like,
and I
how
hope
many
that-
best friends you got?
I hope these guys meet
10?
them all. Yeah. No, at least. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
We have a large group.
We
You're
do.
just one of many.
Yeah.
It's all
Good.
It's all
just
equal.
a good, wholesome party.
All right. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming here.
I'm glad I got to see you in prison. There. Hope they're treating you good and feeding you and shit.
I feel good. I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Man.
right.
Take care.
All right. I got to go.
All right. Bye,
All
everybody.
right. Bye.